Christ. The new creation has come. The old has gone. The new is here. Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Tommy Radband with the $5 super chat. And you know what? I'm going to read that later once I get my crew up here because one of them may want to answer said question. Shout out to my blues in the chat this morning. What's going on, B? Good to see you this morning. What's up, Zeph? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you as well. Is Lori Otteson in the building? I don't think I seen her this morning. What's up, Nanny? How you doing? Obviously I gave my guy Hunter some love. Shout out to you, brother. What up, Papa Dodd? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you guys. What's up, Cool Ramon? How you doing this morning, man? It's good to see you in the chat this morning. What was that? Is it Holly Weaver? Sorry about that. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you guys very much. What up, Truth Consequences? Appreciate you pulling up. Junior, what's going on with you, bro? What up, Scott John? Tennessee in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Yep, we got the J Witt podcast in the building. Shout out. What up, Jane Fecto? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you in the chat. It's good to see you guys. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you all. What's up, Kristen Knight? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Let's see who else we got up in here early. Man, a lot of you guys, y'all get it in early in the morning. I appreciate you guys pulling up. What's up, Mr. Largy? It's good to see you. Appreciate you pulling up. American Pride in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Thank you guys very much. Let me pull my crew up. Appreciate you guys pulling up and participating. What's up, Ro? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Uncle Ro in the building. What's going on? Appreciate you, brother. All right, there goes Lori. Hey, Lori, how you doing this morning? Sis, it's good to see you in the chat. Thank you very much for pulling up. Lori, if you could, please send me an email. Get with Zeph. She'll tell you the right email to use, but shoot me an email, Lori. You're, I think, the last person I'm waiting on. So if you could, when you do get a chance, send me a message via email. What's up, Deb? How you doing this morning? Marilyn in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you. What's going on, Lisa? Uh-oh. Lisa said, my son told me the wokies in Baltimore City are planning violence against ICE. I haven't heard that yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Let me pull my folks up. What's up, Minister Danzel? How you doing this morning, brother?
Hey, good morning, my brother. Glad to be here.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you pulling up as always.
Amen.
What up, Jay Witt? What's up with you, brother?
In the building. Happy New Year again, fellas. Good to see y'all for sure.
Good to see you.
Yeah. What's up? What's going on, Sister Celeste? How you doing this morning, sister?
Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to the chat.
Good morning, friend.
Yeah. All right. What's going on, Sister Crystal? How you doing? Got that hair looking good? I feel you,
Good morning, everyone.
Why. It's too early.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
It's too early.
It's too early for that. It's too early.
It's just too early.
Thank you, Jay.
We had an inspired conversation on Wednesday evening. I have a full understanding of why Crystal's hair looks the way it does. Hey, well invested in. Well invested. Money well spent. Okay. It looks good. You're looking nice this morning, sister.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And last but not least, brother AT in the building. Shout out to you, man.
Hey, we missed you, AT.
Good morning, everyone. I miss y'all as well. Happy 2026. It's already been ridiculous. Looking forward to the conversation. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And congratulations on the new edition, man. Awesome,
we
man.
haven't talked since then. It's been quite some time. Wise, thank
it's
y'all
been a
very
while,
much
man.
for your support. I'm sorry that the Army lost to the Navy. I've been holding that one in for about a month.
No, he didn't.
But it's been a blessing. We're tired, but we're blessed.
Oh, I already know. I know y'all going through it. I understand. Been there, done that.
I remember them days, yeah.
Have all the receipts, the memories, and all that come with that. I understand what you guys are going through, but it is a blessing, right? It's a blessing.
Absolutely.
So
She already won
enjoy
the Twins next, so we're batting down the hatches for it.
AT, all I can say is please keep you do a lot of videotaping.
Yeah.
And
enjoy it. Don't try to rush them growing up, because there will come a time, when you're just like, man, I sure wish.
Yes.
That, I miss those days. You know what I'm saying? When you was a little one, because once they hit them teenage years and you're dealing, it's just another milestone.
So true.
Very true.
We're trying to slow it down the best that we can. Every moment's precious.
Absolutely.
I got videos of my kids from the time they were born till the time they got into their teens.
I hear that. That's awesome.
I ain't missing nothing.
I hear that. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. My folks in the chat, hit the like button for me if you could. What's up, LJ? It's good to see you in the chat this morning. C. Bergie as well. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. I want to get things kicked off, and thank you, Minister Danzel, for sending this over. I want to start with a pastor who says that God is using Trump, and he says that it's scriptural. So I want to play this clip for you guys, and we'll go from there. Hit the like button, share the stream if you could. Help us continue to grow the platform. I appreciate you guys pulling up. And Blues, let's make sure that we keep a track on the likes as well. Whether you're watching on the main platform or on the cell phone platform, hit the like button. Hit the like button for me. Sure. I do appreciate that. Jay Witt, we'll talk offline, but it seems like people on the cell phone, they don't like to hit that daggone like. They don't hit the like button on the cell phone side.
Okay, can I take a second?
Go for it.
All right, had a guy here yesterday doing some work on some stuff at the house, and he was telling me he watched my show.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that was kind of dope. I thought that was cool. He said, but when y'all say stuff like, he said, when content creators say like, share, and subscribe, and he was explaining he watches it on his phone. He said, we can't do that. He said, he was trying to explain to me that it doesn't populate, the like button doesn't populate the same way as it does in the landscape style. So that's why. And I took him at face value. And somebody else has mentioned this as well, that the like button doesn't pop up in the vertical style as it does in the landscape style.
Okay.
I
thought it was a double tap. Like if you're on your phone, I thought you could just double tap it if you're on your phone. I could be wrong.
You could double tap it, but also one of the things that they have to realize there, because the window is expanded this way, they have to, in the bottom right corner of the cell phone, you can hit the button like a red square, and it minimizes it so that you can hit the like button. So that's how it goes, because it expands in your whole cell phone.
Cool. Learning something new every day. So yeah, y'all heard that. Hit that like button wherever you're watching that. All right. Hit the like button. Thank you guys. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Anything negative about the president, just pray for him. Because God is using that man outside your understanding. You can only understand Donald Trump if you read the Old Testament and see how God used prophets to destroy. So guess what? On one side, Donald Trump is doing God's will, while at the same time, he's also producing the very vengeance that's going to cause people to attack us in the future. But it's ordained that way. Okay? They are dancing so much in Nigeria because Donald Trump went over there for one reason and brought it with the United States military. He said, oh, you want to kill Christians? Wonderful. We're going to kill you. And we sent a bunch of military people over there, and they just start knocking down terrorists like you do at the bowling alley. He said, this is return for what you're doing to Christians. So the Nigerians are dancing. Then I woke up this morning and found out that Donald Trump then bombed Venezuela and kidnapped the president and his wife and brought them back to America. I was like, what? Do you realize how crazy this is? Your president said, y'all won't stop with the drugs over here. And I have known for decades. He gave him a chance. He said, okay, stop. We first gonna start bombing your boats. How many know for the last few weeks our military have been bombing all the boats bringing drugs to America, killing your kids? They want evil in this country. They want drugs to keep the systematic. Never mind. They said we have overwhelming evidence that the president of Venezuela was in cahoots with the drug dealers pouring drugs into America. That is not something that you do, is you break into another country, bomb the man's home, and take the president and his wife of Venezuela and then put them on a helicopter and bring them back to Brooklyn. This is crazy. But guess who's rejoicing? Y'all want to know who is rejoicing? The Venezuelans. So that should tell you something. Why is it every time, all the people talk about this man, but every time he does something, the people rejoice. And so you're making decisions based on emotions of what you think. You're not making decisions based on how God uses men. When you see how God is using this man, he fits so easily into scripture when God gets ready to judge evil. And the men that he always uses to judge evil are always crazy.
Minister Danzel, you got the first word, bro.
Hey, man, first, let me shout out to my sister, Zana. She's a Caucasian Christian sister who sent that clip to me, a former student at the college that I worked at. And we still in touch, of course. So you see that God still has his hands on people's lives. But yes, I just have to say that Proverbs 21:1 says that the king's hand is in the heart, and the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. People don't understand that God is still in control of whatever happens in this world. good and bad. And they just don't understand that sovereignty means that he has not taken his hand off of this world, and he can move people any way he wants to. You can deny it if you want to. Don't make no difference. You heard what he said about Pharaoh, right? He made it clear to Pharaoh, no matter what you think, no matter what you do, I got this, and his will is going to be done. So I think that it can be, people can get crazy and say that God did something that was really, really bad when it wasn't him, but he has control of everything that goes on in our world. And so I thank God for like I said, had Trump not been elected and won the election, we would have been in a horrible state as a nation. And with all the things that they tried to do to get rid of him and to make sure he did not become president, you cannot deny there was some kind of divine providence involved in there somehow, because they did everything they could to keep him out.
Absolutely. AT, I'll give you the next word.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because I always wonder where someone's spirit is aligned whenever they directly feel the need to attack the president of the United States. I mean Trump, I mean Biden, I mean Obama, I mean Bush, I mean all of them. There's not a single leader that's ever been in place that God did not allow to be there in the first place. When you assume that someone slipped in the cracks, you're saying that God does not have absolute sovereign will and judgment over the entire world. I mean, everyone can go to Pharaoh, and you took it from me, Minister Denzel. So how about Nebuchadnezzar? There's so many, the Assyrians. There's so many different examples in the Old Testament of leaders who, if we were living in that time, we would say, this is awful. Someone please redeem us, get us away from this horrible, evil individual. And what's worse is we look at what Trump has done. And I get that some people think it was too much force, some people think it wasn't enough. It was something. It was an action. It wasn't the bounty that Biden put over the Venezuelan president. It was $20 million. It was actually doing something that is going to have tangible results. And what I also recommend to people is, if they're saying that Trump is evil, that Trump is not aligned with God, and you're ignoring all the times that he has proclaimed Jesus Christ, stop having fruitless arguments with individuals who do not know Scripture or do not put the proper authority that Scripture deserves when it comes to challenging things in life. You may not like it. I get that. It'll probably make you cry, and you'll discuss it at parties. But at the end of the day, no leader has ever been put in place that God does not have control over, that God did not give permission. That's just black and white. If you have an issue with that, you can call me a Trumpy or whatever it is. I will just remind you that you do not believe in Scripture fully.
And it doesn't mean they have to be perfect. Again, we got to keep that in mind. They don't have to be perfect. God has used imperfect people throughout history. And this is documented in the Bibles. Don't play with him. Don't play with him. He can use anybody. He can use a donkey. If he can use a donkey, he can certainly use a man.
You know what, Mr. Denzel, I've noticed that a lot of people do expect perfection from President Trump. I don't know where that comes from. The man can do 500 things right, but he does one thing wrong, and immediately they want to jump on top of him because they're happy that they have one little nugget to go against him with. I'll even use someone, for example, in your comment section. I'm sorry, Wise. They said, "Thou shalt not murder." Do you know what that means? Do you know what that word means in the Hebrew? The difference between murder and kill. Do you understand how all militaries have been given authority by their ruler, who has been put there in place by God in the first place? Instead of seeking something that's going to align with what you want the world to be like, seek the truth. It will set you free.
Amen.
Absolutely. Jay Witt, I'll give you the next word, brother.
Come on, brother.
Yeah, I agree with the brothers before. I want people to, well, first of all, I think our perspective, our eyes are looking too low. We need to look up to Christ, to our King, and realize that he does rule and reign over the affairs of men. So at the end of the day, Trump is God's Trump. And you know what? Kamala would have been God's Kamala.
That's right.
Biden was God's Biden. Whatever. I mean, just stop it. All of your elected officials, actually all of us, are in the hands of God.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, however he chooses to use you, however he chooses to use us, however he chooses to use your elected official, is to his good pleasure.
Sovereignty.
And I think people, that truth right there, really, people need to sit there and think about that for a second and realize that, am I trusting in man or am I trusting in God? And at the end of the day, allow that to rule and to guide you and to shape your politics, to drive your cultural discussions and stuff you're saying at the water cooler. Because too many of us, I really think, have lost the fact that God is in control. Like I'm not trying to make it too simple, but it really needs to be that simple, that God is ultimately in control. And he's ruling over the affairs of men. And who knows what was the purpose? I mean, when you see all those Venezuelan political dissidents and political prisoners being released yesterday, explain to me why that was bad. Explain when you see our brothers and sisters in Nigeria celebrating the Venezuelans being freed and they themselves being freed.
Come on.
Explain to me why that's bad. I'm just trying to understand, and I'm not trying to be obtuse. So instead of, you know, hand wringing and woe is me, I understand orange man bad, but maybe you need to stop looking at the orange man, and you need to look at he who sits on the throne and rules over Trump and over us. I'll leave it to y'all.
Absolutely. I have a question for you guys in the panel. In reference to Venezuela, or any situation where a dictator or someone that, obviously has a bounty on their head, is there a nice way to go and get this guy? They said, well, we're glad he got him, but he could have done it a better way. Is there a better way?
Wise, ask the people that said that to answer that question. There you go. Put the question.
Onus is not on us to come up with a better solution.
Thank you.
I'm fine. I voted for the solution that we got. That's what I'm good with that. You say it should have been different. Tell me how it could have been different.
There you go. There you go.
It's really hard.
I would only ask. My only subsequent question would be, how long has the bounty been on his head?
Thank you. Come on.
Why has it been on his head that long? If it was on his head for 10 minutes, it was 10 minutes too long. So why your solution would have worked? We should have got him in 9 minutes and 48 seconds.
Thank you. Come on, brother.
Why did that not happen? I'll wait.
It's hard to imagine a different solution to this. I mean, I guess technically, not to be tongue in cheek, but you could have assassinated him, I suppose, without having to bring him back. I think bringing him back to have him stay in trial is the move to show that we are going to give him his day in court. He's going to have an opportunity to face the legal system. Objectively speaking, if you don't agree with this, go read a book and come back to me. He has done things that have flooded into the American system and has caused harm to the American people. So we have to address it. The bounty was not working, so we sent in those boys. And I think it also had a good effect on the world stage. Trump has shown that while Biden might have weakened the military, and we looked very soft after Afghanistan, between Iran and between Venezuela, people have started to remember that we can laugh, we can joke. Do not play with the United States military.
Ladies, we're gonna give you a chance, but let's listen. Next thing I'm gonna say is that, Wise, you said it right. No matter what Trump does, they're gonna say it was wrong. Matthew, the 11th chapter, Jesus said the same thing about the generation he was in. He said that John the Baptist came, not eating, not drinking, and you said that this guy is weird. He's demon possessed. I came eating and drinking, and you said, man, you had a problem with me. No matter what we do, you got a problem. So this is where it's gonna be. People that don't care about right, they're gonna find any fault they can find in him, no matter what he says. If he belches, he committed a sin. So that's just where it's gonna be.
Absolutely.
Come on,
Crystal, get in there.
So when I see some of the comments of some of the people and things of that nature, I just know that they don't read the word of God, because they wanted a man who skips through lilies and smells the roses and talks quietly and nicely, except they don't know who Jehu is. And if you go read up on Jehu, Trump has the spirit of Jehu as well as the spirit of Cyrus. And we all also named the spirit of Nebuchadnezzar. But let me just remind people, Jehu was raised up to tear down corruption. He dealt with everything from idolatry to the moral decay that was going on in Israel. Jehu was loud, unapologetic, and he could not stand the elites. He was the elites that were sitting here doing the things that they were doing. He was not for it. That is why he went in and took care of King Ahab and Jezebel, the Jezebel spirit. He also expose false worship. So all of these fake Christians that are out here saying that they know the word of God, clearly they don't know the word of God, because if they knew the word of God, they would recognize that in this time of judgment, which is what we are going through right now, because of all the things that we've been experiencing up to this very moment. Look at the chaos. They had to cancel school in Minneapolis because these people ain't got no kind of common sense. But people want to say, no, we should have done it nicer. You don't know your word of God. You don't know who God is. You may know of God, but you don't know God. And until you know God and until you receive his Holy Spirit, you will not recognize what is happening here. Go read your word and get familiar with who our God is, who Jesus Christ is, and understand he is not only the Lamb, but he is the Lion of Judah, and he will pounce. I want y'all to be aware of that.
Come on.
Celeste, give you the last word.
Okay, well, to the question of whether or not that there was a better way to get the bounty on Maduro's head, the answer was we just saw the best way. This was a surgically precise extraction. It was tantamount to the old game of Operation, where you had to take the tiny little tweezers and get the body part out without touching either side, or else you were out of the game. And that's about, in my mind, not having any military experience or knowledge. That's about, in my mind, how precise they had to be to get this man out and to bring him back alive and his wife to the United States to stand trial. So I don't think that there is a better way, and I don't think we have an example in history of how it was done better than this. So I think that even the people who are saying, well, he could have done it this way and could have done it that way, simply then show us that time in history when it was done and it was better, and we'll all say you are correct and we owe an apology and need to go back and do it better the next time. But until they can cite a time and a person where this actually happened better than this, because any bounty I've ever seen, even the little TV shows, the whole point is to bring them back alive to collect the money. So I don't think it could be better. And whether or not this is an issue of divine providence, I certainly don't doubt that this president and all presidents, not just Donald Trump, have a divine providence. What is our prayer is that this divine providence is for good and continues to be for good. We also know in the Bible that, the devil makes evil fair seeming. And so while I am celebrating along with everyone else, and I am very pleased at the state of play, how things have gone, I always want to keep a little bit of a critical eye open and available, because I always want to know, when you have people who have great positions of power, who have great communication skills and charisma, there's always a chance for corruption. And so what our job is to remain is to remain critical while being supportive, to try and keep our leaders to do the right thing. People, when they feel like no one's looking, will, are very easy to, kind of backslide and do a little of this and do a little of that. But if they know all eyes are on you, so keep your promise and walk the walk you told us you will walk. It's always going to be all good. So while I support, while I'm enthusiastic, and while I'm thankful, I still always want to be a little open and available to say, nobody gets a free pass.
That's right.
Not in that position. Nobody.
That's right.
I agree. And I think that, we should look at the administration critically, and we should judge them accordingly. And when we see something that we appreciate and that we can say, you know what, we can get behind that, we can say that, we can get behind it. And when we see something that's, off, we should be able to speak up and say, hey, this isn't right.
Amen.
And I think, but that is the difference between those of us on this side of things and those on the other side of things.
Come on.
That is the difference, what Celeste just described.
Yes.
Stark contrast.
Yep.
But I'll say this. There's no easy way to take down a dictator. Did they think that this guy with a $50 million bounty was just going to say, hey, Trump, hey, you got me. I'm going to go turn myself in. Did they really think that? We can't get dudes with $1,000 warrants in our country to just turn themselves in. A dude with a $50 million warrant is going to do it? Come on, man. It didn't make sense.
When a Democrat went and got a dictator or a violent person, did they make that kind of complaint?
Oh, absolutely not. Of course not.
You see the hypocrisy?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Couple super chats and we'll keep it moving. Shout out to, how do you say that? Tommy Radban with the $5 super chat says, what do you think of when I say immoral, selfish, pleasure pen wearing materialists who hate accountability and just want to keep moving forward the left?
Can I?
Go for it.
So if I'm picking up what I think that individual is saying, then I wholeheartedly agree. He basically just took the entire mentality of the left right now Immoral? Absolutely. I want to do whatever I want to do. I don't want to hear about the consequences. I don't want to hear how it's going to impact my life. He said it was selfish. I shouldn't have to explain that one. A lot of people on the left focus on how does this impact me and only me and the things I care about. If it means helping the entire country, but I have to sacrifice even 1%, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And yes, they are the material ones. Most people on the left can typically name a lot of designer brands. They want to buy them. They don't care about building up for the future necessarily. Put me in New York City, put me in Miami, put me in Austin or whatever it's at. Let me get the nice car. That's who those ads go out to. They're not going out to conservatives to go buy a new Mercedes. Let me get the nice dining area and an experience. Let me spend $200 for the chicken. I could have made it a little bit better for about $5 at home. And that last point about accountability, liberals do not like accountability. They've made that crystal clear over the last few years.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Shout out to Papa Dodd coming through with the $5 super chat. Says the greatest lies are hidden in partial truths. TJ, I'm TJ if you're wondering. Okay. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Ballin93 with the $2 super chat. Says amen, brothers and sisters. Appreciate you. All right. Appreciate you, Rose K coming through with the $5 super chat. Says AT's wife here. Okay. Shout out to Mrs. AT. Appreciate you pulling up. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Wise. God bless you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
You only worth $5, AT.
Hey, you know what? That's 5 times as much as I thought I was worth. So today's a good day, amen.
Well, there you go. Okay. That's 98 cents. There was $4.92 too much.
She thinks it's my birthday today. That's why.
Well, Miss Rose, thank you for the $5 super chat, and you are very welcome.
Thank you, Rose. Love you.
Shout out to Hunter coming through with the $5 super chat. Says some of the greatest prophets and kings God used was some of the worst people before he changed them. Trump is another great example.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you, Space, Crime, and you said is that Chisholm? Chisholm? Okay. $5 super chat. Thank you. It says if Democrats have the answer, why is California so bad? We are under complete Democrat control. Well, we could name a few other states on that list as well. Thank you, LJ, for the $5 super chat. She says, I'm jelly that I'm not still in the Army for these beast missions. They're going to be bragging for years. Hats off to the Air Force, Delta Force. Hooah. All right. Hey, LJ.
Absolutely said that wrong, but it's okay. It's
I said it wrong.
It's all right. I
Who?
didn't know she was in the Army, by the way. That's really respectable. Just to give you all a random fact, Venezuela is not defenseless. They have very strong anti-air. The ZU-23 is their short range. That was a phenomenal mission that they flew in there to drop those boys off.
Yeah, it was. Shout out to Spaces. Been a member for 2 months. Shout out to you, brother. Trump did in 1 hour what Biden couldn't do over 4 years. Absolutely.
What he said.
And thank you, Deb, for the $10 super chat. Says I checked Trump's campaign promises, and I believe 9 out of 12 promises were already put in place in his first year. He wants America safe and prosperous, and they hate him for it. Love you guys. Wow. Thank you, Dad. And you're on that. Hey, I don't have any issues. As Jay Witt said, hey, I voted for this.
That's what I voted for.
I voted for this. So I don't have any issues. Seriously.
I just want to throw something out there. Imagine what it would be like if more of the country was supporting his vision, what he's done, versus fighting against it. Can you imagine where we would be?
What we could accomplish.
What we can accomplish the majority of America, even our major cities. Let's just use our major cities. The large major cities that are going completely bat squeeze crazy were actually like in support of what he's doing. Man, we would be cooking with grease, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're gonna keep it moving. I'm sure you guys are familiar with what's going on up in Minnesota. We're gonna be here for a little minute. There's actually 2 segments I want to go through. We're gonna start with the protest first. I'm gonna play this clip here. We'll let this thing rock out because I had to kind of piece this thing together, so I didn't have to. So there was some work on this, but I want to play this for you guys, and then we'll get into it, get your thoughts, and then we're gonna go back to Minnesota with the fraud, and with Tim Walz being in the hot seat. I think it might what's hotter than hot right now. That's where Tim Walz is right now. But we'll start with the protests.
Boiling.
She tried to use her vehicle as a weapon, mow over an ICE agent, and now she is dead. And her death is tragic, but at the end of the day, it was completely avoidable if she would have simply followed the commands of the ICE agents. But what really is more disturbing to me is Governor Walz's comments about using the National Guard to keep the federal government, ICE agents, out of his state. He has now gone full Jefferson Davis, and that's what I would call civil war. This is a problem. The left always does this. They always clamor for more violence. They always clamor for more rioting. Minneapolis, they've already burned to the ground. The violence must stop. We must respect law enforcement, respect this president that said, I am going to clamp down on illegal immigration, and Minneapolis has become a cesspool for illegal immigration, and we're not standing for it any longer.
Well, I said this yesterday. We've never been at war with our federal government. I think in this case that the National Guard is their main mission. They have a dual mission.
Whether or not it was a justified shooting or not will be determined. But I think there's no question, A, she was there illegally. B, she did accelerate trying to hit an officer. And yet I was reading through all of the various different media organizations. This was AP. This is their headline, the Associated Press, the people that everybody gets their news from in terms of news organizations. Woman killed by ICE agent in Minneapolis was mother of 3, poet and new to the city. Playbook this morning. The latest from Minnesota. Hundreds of people joined vigils in protest last night following the killing of 37-year-old Renee Good by an ICE agent. The tragic details of the deceased, a mother of 3 and a devout Christian. The Today Show. Craig Melvin, outrage after ICE shot and killed a woman. Let me ask you this. If you only didn't get to see the context that we provided this morning, what would you think after reading those headlines? That ICE went out, in my opinion, I'd be like, wow, ICE went out last night and shot a woman because she was a devout Christian and poet.
Shut these streets down. Yes. Again. Make the city pay. Again. And again. There was one about losing money when George Floyd died. We as a people can cause them to lose more money now. If we don't stand together, we're going to fall. Together we stand, divided we fall. We as a community got to stop talking and do the work. We cannot wait till somebody die again to do the work. ICE is a demon. They are not human beings. They are killers.
I quit my job for this, and I've been having flare-ups and stuff, so it's like I can barely, and I have panic attack.
You said when you heard the sirens, you immediately ran out. Where were you?
I was about 15 minutes away.
And what were you doing?
I was disassociating on my bed. I mean, I might as well put my time to something useful. If you've seen the video, everything, it was not self-defense by that terrorist. It was not.
How did your boss respond when you quit?
It was like a part-time. I'm getting back after a lot happened recently in my life, so sometimes disability takes my life over, and I'm still kind of in shock.
Send him fucking home! A protest is being planned at the federal building, and that's going to be taking place after dark. That's when things really, really get bad in areas like this. That's when we saw in like 2020, all of this stuff, like the Summer of Love, after George Floyd, it was the same mayor and the same actions that were being taken, where they take the police out of the area and people are allowed to run the streets wild. I actually couldn't even get to the place where I wanted to do this hit from because a lot of these anarchists now have the roads blocked and police are nowhere to be found. It's devolving, then.
No ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA. 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 No ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA.
We'll start with you, Celeste. I'll give you the first word on this. You can go with it wherever you would like to go.
I think that Governor Walz's rhetoric is extremely dangerous. If his first comments after the tragic fatal shooting were highly inflammatory, But now he has seemed to escalate. And maybe because he knows he's not running again, he's got the gloves off. There's nothing to hold him back. He is now loose to be, in fact, who he really wants to be. And his rhetoric now is tempering on sedition. Is Minnesota succeeding from the Union? Is this a declaration of civil war? Exactly what is he talking about? I would love to see the bought and paid for media actually question that, because the only thing I think that could put him back is if he had a strong line of questioning and was forced to have to actually tell the people, because this sort of slick innuendo of let's throw down the gauntlet and make a side declaration of war is very, very serious. And the people of Minnesota, who may be under the false belief that they're just having a protest for an injustice, which I don't believe is true. I believe a lot of those people are paid agitators, if not the majority. But if there are some, and even those in their homes who did not go out, you need to know what your governor is about to put you up to, because he's going to talk, he's out here writing a check that you all have to cash. And the check is going to be declaring an insurrection. So I have seen some Democrats say, wait a minute, hold on, let's not go too far. Because the one thing I don't think the Dems want to do is the Dems do not want to have a civil war while they are out of power and not in control of the military, because that doesn't work well for them. If they were going to purposefully create conditions for a civil war, I think they'd want to do it when the apparatuses of power are in their hands and not in Donald Trump or in Republican hands. So I think we may see some quelling of this type of rhetoric, but I would really caution the voters and taxpayers of Minnesota to realize, don't let your leaders go up there and start running their mouth and write a check that you got to cash. You need to pull them back. You are the government. You are responsible there. You are the sovereign citizen. Stop sitting in your closed door with your mouth shut and allowing people to run roughshod over you and put you and your children in harm's way and in dangerous situations. Take control of your state.
AT, I'll give you the next word, bro.
I hope that Love Jones is still down there, because I need somebody to co-sign me on this from the military. Celeste, is one thing you said for the first time I disagree with. Today is a special day because I'm always right on board behind everything that comes out your mouth. Democrats could be in office. Hey, it's not my birthday. We're gonna pretend like it is.
I'm going with your wife on this.
You said that the lucky Democrats aren't in office. You don't want to have a civil war when Democrats are in office. They could be in office. Who's gonna fight? Honestly, who's going to fight? What service member is going to say, oh, yeah, absolutely, let me start gunning down American citizens because they're upset that someone broke the law and lost their life in the process? I had to listen to that video, and some things stuck out to me. See, when we were doing this training called SEER in the military, they would not refer to us as service members, soldiers, he, she. They would call us animals. They would teach us that people who want to demean you won't refer to you as any kind of human mentality. They want you to lose that humanity. They said ICE is a demon. They are not human beings. It's a quote that they just said. They said it was not self-defense. It was a terrorist, is the word that came out of that young woman's mouth who's apparently never worked before. This is what we see coming from the left all the time. Y'all have kids. Y'all know what toddlers are like. When they get upset, they throw things around. When liberals get upset, they have a protest. No one's asking the question as to why was she here illegally. No one's asking the question as to why she ignored commands from a law official who carries a badge, who has rights given to them in order to enforce their area of expertise. I don't even call it tragic. I'll tell you the truth. I hope that she knew Christ. I hope that her family is able to move past this and learn from the experiences. Teach your children that if you do not listen to someone who has been given authority to enact the law and to enact policy, what can happen all the way on the left is a warning, all the way on the right is you losing your life. That's just the way that things work. But we have been telling a lot of individuals, especially in these cities, especially in blue states, that you can have it your way. It's Burger King. Any way you want it is the way that the law has to be. You don't want this person to get in trouble for breaking the actual law. You don't have to get in trouble for breaking the law. Matter of fact, you can get upset
the
with
law.
anyone who tries to enforce the law against them. If they're on your team, we have people out here talking about George Floyd. Please, someone explain to me what in the world this has to do with George Floyd. I'll wait. I really will wait, because at this point in time, you just don't know how to take a loss. At this point in time, you don't know how to accept a reality that is right in front of you. You want to continue living in a cartoon world of your own fantasy and creation, and now reality is screaming to the surface, and Tim Walz is leading that charge.
Minister Danzel, you'd like to get in there?
Yes, thank you, Celeste, and thank you all. Celeste, you give them too much credit as Democrats. I think that you're too kind. Rationale is not their normality. I want to say that this is very important. Remember what I said on Tuesday about why it's so important for people to make sure they tap the right sources to get their information. You saw that Newsmax clip you played, Wise. The man read the kind of media responses that was being put out. The complete irrational, dishonest perspective on what was being done and what happened. And people believe that mess. And he said, yeah, if you listen to that, that's all you listen to, you will come away thinking, yeah, these people are crazy. We got to do something. Now, what is a mother of 3 children who are actually obviously home?
Poet. Right.
What is she doing out in the street going up against the law and using her car to run somebody over? A woman, your responsibility to your children at home. What in her mind? What did she grasp in her mind? What did she get? What information she get to make her think that that was the right thing for a mother to be doing? Mm-hmm. It's scary. It's so sad that we have allowed our media, our political leaders, to speak stupidity, and I think Brother Brandon Lehman, he did a great analysis of it, talking about how the left have been speaking this rhetoric so powerfully that their followers are just completely out of their mind. And they think that what they're doing is right. Now, and then Tim Walz gets out there and he says, listen, we putting our National Guard on radars as if the president doesn't have the power to nationalize their National Guard.
Yeah.
I mean, the irrationality is so blatant. We have to pray and we have to talk, because people are so irrational that they don't think rationally. And this kind of thing is getting mothers out in the streets doing this kind of thing. This is crazy, and this is not an abnormal thing. This is a regular thing. You see the crowds. They saw media was showing people in the crowd saying, "Death to ICE, death to ICE." Now, why is that justified? Why is that allowed? Mm-hmm. You are calling for the death of legal law enforcement. How can you get away with that in this country? You call that free speech? I'm just saying. If we don't stop the man, thank God, if Trump does not do what he's doing, it can get a lot worse. And if we don't start addressing these people's madness, it's going to get a lot worse, because people are going to start picking up arms. They're going to start going out there with guns, shooting at our law enforcement. They want a civil war, because that would make Trump look bad. They don't care about what's right and wrong. This is the danger that we're facing right now.
Minister Danzel, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And if corporate media was doing the job that they're supposed to do, they would ask follow-up questions. When he said that he's willing to, throw the National Guard out there, where was the additional follow-up questions to say, like, what do you mean by that, sir? Are you planning to use the Minnesota National Guard to go head up with federal law enforcement in your state? Are you prepared to do it? Is that what you're saying? There's no additional follow-up questions there. They don't hit the Democrats hard when they say reckless things. They never do it. I'm convinced at this point that corporate media is anti-America at this point, based off of what we've witnessed over the past, 5 or 6 years or so, dating back to, I guess we can go back to 2020, the summer of the quote unquote summer of love. We could probably go a lot further back than that, but I'm just saying over the past 5 years, the rhetoric is just outrageous. I wanted to play those clips or the clip from the dude talking about the AP and things of that nature and the headlines.
Yes.
I'm like, how irresponsible?
Yes.
How irresponsible are you? Like, what are you trying to do? It really bothers me.
Can I add to that? A lot of people don't know about this. And I want to say 2000 plus or minus a year, The Economist put out a poll and they went to a lot of journalists and they asked them, do you think it's important to tell equally both political sides of a story? Did you know the majority of journalists said no? Specifically, journalists who identified on the left, it was something over like 60 or 70% said no, it's not worth talking about both sides of it. And the only argument you really need in this situation is take everything that Tim Walz said. If President Trump had said something like it, they'd be in the streets. Insurrection, have him arrested, have him impeached. If he said anything close to that, Tim Walz is going to get he's going to get away with it because he's on their side.
Yes,
absolutely. Jay Wood, I'll give you the next word, bro.
So I think we need to take the time to back up and ask ourselves, how is it that a movement that's meant to help Black people, and what I mean by that is removing immigrants that are here illegally, get them out of the system, is being defended and being stymied by Black people? Like, Black Lives Matters is a tool. We haven't seen y'all in forever. I mean, at this point, you're a meme, you're a trope. We know that you're gonna pop up when something happens, only when it's to your benefit. I was a little surprised to watch Black Lives Matters in this situation. I was a little like, wait, shouldn't y'all be sitting this one out? Like, what does this got to do with let's just pretend that I participated. What's this got to do with Black folk? So the fact that this is going on in 4K, that is making fun of y'all. That is making fun of you.
Amen.
I'm reading right here where they've started a whole autonomous zone in Minnesota, several blocks where it's a no-go. Residents can't drive to their homes because they've blocked off entire blocks. And okay, how does that help? How does that help y'all? Why is your first movement to become lawless, not more lawful, but become lawless? Okay, all right, y'all knocked it out. Have fun with that.
Wow.
I do want to ask this: at what point does the federal government say, you know what, Minnesota, if y'all want to act like this, you get no more money, no more federal resources. You want to be a sovereign state and do your own thing, you get no more money from us. At what point do we go there? Because this is outrageous. This is 2 times in a row, Minnesota, over issues that they shouldn't even be marching and protesting for.
Thank you.
George Floyd first, there should have never did. That should have never, it should have never transpired the way it did.
Nope.
In this situation, when we have the video footage and it's come out, everybody has it, young lady was in the wrong.
Yes.
She was in the wrong. Once they tell you to stop, you're being detained right now, ma'am. You don't have the right to full speed ahead, pedal to the metal. You don't have that right anymore.
No.
Crystal, what are your thoughts?
Well, I look at it like this. You know, for 2021 to 2024, Ecclesiastes 8:11 talks about how when a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong. And
That's
for the last 4 years, that's literally what we saw. People were able to get away with doing whatever they felt like. They just felt like they could do anything, say anything, and move any which way they want to. And you're watching these people, and they have been emboldened because of the last administration. But it's like I look at it when my son was younger. He would go to his dad's house, then he would go to my house. And in his dad's house, he was able to get away with certain things. And when he comes back to my house, it would be like you would have to kind of reel him back in. And it was tough. But when he realized, oh, we don't play here, after that, when he went over there, he kept the same behavior back and forth because he knew when you get over back to mommy house, it ain't gonna be nice if you're gonna bring that bad behavior over here. And why I brought that up is because what is happening is, like AT said, it's like toddlers. They're losing their mind because they are so used to being able to behave however they want to and get away with whatever they want to. And because now they have someone that believes in law and order and is enforcing law and order, they are throwing the biggest temper tantrum ever seen in this world. They are pure out temper tantrum. They look foolish. They look absolutely foolish. And you have to understand, I keep saying, and I heard Marcus Rogers is someone that says this, and I 100% agree with him. That's because the media is the false prophet media. They're there to provide a vision for these people and tell them what they should believe. And because these people have no wisdom, no discernment, no anything, they receive it. They take it as gospel. They will believe, and even if their eyes see the truth, they're not going to accept it because their prophet the false media told them to believe this crap and they
Come on.
receive it. They were like, you know what? Even though we saw that she parked across the way, even though we saw that the agent told her, step out the car, even though we saw her accelerate and head straight to him, it was not her fault because she has 3 kids. And common sense doesn't tell you, as a mother, what in the world were you doing out there? You should want to live more for your children than for people you don't even have any dealings with. That should have been your top priority. But no, you don't care about that because you have given yourself over to Satan. You have given yourself given the devil a foothold in your life. So when God gave her grace, and I'm going to say God gave her grace by telling her, with the ICE agent saying, get out the vehicle. She had grace right then and there. And she decided to spit on that grace.
Amen.
And she decided to accelerate towards officers. And again, free will does not allow you to be free from consequences. Please believe you're going to face the consequences. Your free will doesn't mean you don't face consequences. And I just want to add one more thing. Because I used to work on the left, I'm going to answer your question. Because I used to work on the left, okay? Because I used to work for these nonprofits and I know exactly what they're doing. You see, what happens is, because right now they're starting to protest in Atlanta. We heard they're going to protest in Baltimore. They're going up into New York City. You see, what happens is one group says they're going to protest and they make a phone call to another group. And another group says, hey, we got to organize our volunteers and our paid protesters. We need to get them because they do have paid protesters. I just want you to know they do. And they'll say, hey, get this one. Okay, cool. Let me call up to DC. Let me get those people. Hey, we need you guys out there. Hold on, New York. This is literally how, because I remember them saying, hey, Crystal, we're going up to DC to do so and so. I need you to make a phone call because we need to get as many people out. Can you get some people over from California when we're just trying to do something on the East Coast? So all of this is a show. This is a bad Broadway show. This is not real. Half of those people don't even believe in the things that they're saying. They would rather just cash those checks that they're receiving. Just put it that way. So I want people to understand what they're standing for. They have no idea. The ones that are watching in the media and in the comments and saying, oh, y'all are supporting the orange man. No, y'all are supporting a big lie and y'all don't even know it. These people set you up and put you in a place where there's distraction, because you know what? As I will agree with Black Lives Matter with that. United we stand, divided we fall. And right now, that side is trying to divide America so we can fall. But the rest of the patriots across America, oh no, we're standing. And y'all are not going to win this battle.
Why? Let me give that scripture for that Crystal brought up. Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says that because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore it is fully set in the hearts of men to do evil. If you don't take care of what's wrong right away, people will get confident. Excellent point, sis.
Super chats I want to read, and we'll keep it moving. Shout out to Greg Williams for the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, LJ. Been a member for 7 months. Says Walz looks like the Lorax. Oh, Lord. Thank you, Christine Owens, for joining the ARP family. Appreciate you, Christine. Thank you very much. Shout out to Stifler's mom with the $10 super. Goodness gracious.
What a name. Love it.
Oh man, goodness gracious. It says, I believe more of us have to rise up and be the opposition to the protests, protect our ICE agents. But how? Most of us have jobs. Our families depend on us. So how do we support our ICE agents?
By voting. By voting in individuals that have good leadership principles that you know are going to execute exactly what that office says that they're going to do. That's how you do it.
And that includes the judges, because again, people get into the elections and they pay attention to everything else, but when they get to the judges, they'll be like, "Oh well, I don't know who this is, but I'm just going to say yes."
Yep, abacadabra judge. Yeah, we got it. You got to do research on these judges, right? Man.
You see how these judges are working against Trump. The craziness they're doing is like they should have been dethroned a long time ago. It's amazing what they're doing to try to stop him from doing what he has to do.
We got to fix that whole system.
Yeah.
I'm with Amethyst 100% here. Thank you, Amethyst Angel, for coming through with the $2 super chat. It says the fourth estate, the mainstream media needs to be foreclosed. Now y'all see what happened to I'm sure you guys saw what happened to PBR and or NPR and PBS.
That's right. Took their money.
Once that money gone, hey,
they're bankrupt now.
Bankrupt. We need to look into that for some of these other networks out there. This is ridiculous. Seriously, it's ridiculous. Shout out to Hunter coming through with the $20 super chat. Says the left won't survive a civil war. Who do they have to fight? Mentally deranged men with sticks and stones. Meanwhile, we have God-fearing, hardworking men with some of us having more pew-pews than we have fingers. Yeah, you got a point there.
You know why? It's also a different way too. It's not even about the guns. I know everyone likes to go that way. The left will always lose because the right has all the guns. Left's going to lose because left doesn't make any of their own food. There you go.
It's true.
Thank you, Texan Long Life, coming through with the $10 super chat. Says, thank you, Jay, for this wonderful panel. Okay. Amen. All right. Thank you, Deb, for coming through with the $10 super chat. Says, Renee, known as Anti-ICE Warrior, was part of a political protester group called Defend 612 or 612 that was traced back to be funded by George Soros. George Soros subsidiary protesting groups. Doesn't surprise me. I do think they need to there needs to be an investigation on these protests.
Thank you. Yes.
Because I don't know, I think we talked about this on Tuesday, but how does the operation happen early in the morning and they're protesting by 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning in a multitude of places with court, and the signs are similar. Like how did this happen?
Amen. I'm telling y'all, it's an entire organization. I'm telling you, I used to work for these organizations. I know exactly how it works. They have vendors that they have everything they need, so that it's just like it's almost like pushing a button and then everybody just shows up. It's like, hey, we're doing this today, and they have the paid protesters, the volunteers. They call them volunteers, but they're paid protesters. They already have them out there. They're ready to go. They're ready to go. It's an assembly line. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And they need to. When you say they need to do a investigation of protest, they need to do investigation on all of these nonprofit organizations that are out there.
Where that money's coming from?
They say they're standing. They're doing things to help the community. No, they're really there to set up, to push out the propaganda and keep people enslaved. That's what they're there for.
A lot of them wouldn't be out there if there was no money behind them.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
Wise. I just dropped in the chat. Laura Ingram was interviewing somebody who said she's paid to do this.
Yes, I saw that, and I was going to bring that up, and I couldn't figure a way to fit that in with the clip. But I did see that where a person just flat out was like, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nate Friedman, but he's been covering this for some time, and dude has stories of a multitude of people, same person,
big money,
in a multitude of different protests for different things. And they're like, are you paid? It's like you're just on board with everything, huh? It's just it's crazy, man. Crazy.
I get the go ahead, Celeste.
Like that young lady that you showed who said she had to quit her job for this.
Yeah.
And first of all, I want to say, number one, wow. And second of all, I thought it was a very interesting profile of the type of person that would quit their job to be in a protest like this. This is someone who said that she was disassociating before, as Crystal said, she got the call to come out, and that she's not able to work more than a part-time contract because sometimes her disability gets in the way. From her looks, the way she was able to walk, and it didn't seem like her disability was physical. And I am saying that we are actually taking far too many young people, and with all of this pushing into anxiety and depression, we are creating a cohort and a generation of young people who are available for this type of foolishness. And as you were saying, someone on the panel said that we need to teach. I think it was AT, that when authority says something to you, first of all, your parents teach you that by being the authority of their home.
That's right.
And when they're not the authority of their home, then anybody can become your authority. So we we have got too many parents that have abdicated their position as the authority over their children. They've let them, thrown them to the society that has got them anxious and depressed and likely medicated with mood altering and God knows what else
Come on.
types of chemicals running through their system.
Yes.
These are the type of people that are the top pickings to come up because they can't work, they can't do anything but come up, hold a sign.
And I was just going to say that I literally, one of these days I'll send it to you guys. I literally have all of the job descriptions and the job notices right now coming in my email because they still have me as my email address as one of them. So they send. I'm telling you, this is real jobs, and they pay really well.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. The girl leaving her job is not even phasing her because the amount of money that she makes, and it moves from campaign to campaign, whatever situation they need you in, you are paid. I'm talking about in a month, you could make $8,000, $10,000. You can make some good money.
$8,000-$9,000 a month to protest?
Yes, I'm telling you, this money is.
I'm bad too now.
And the thing is, they don't just have the protesters. They have their digital marketers. They have their speech writers for those that come up and be standing out there. They have everything. Their graphic design. They have everything. So you can see all that they're hiring for, and then closer to certain things like midterms, like right now, they're hiring like crazy for all kinds of people who are going to come out there and cause agitation, people who are going to come out there to create the graphics, people that's going to be the leader, the outreach leader. They have everything. I'm telling you, there's an entire sphere that is set up for that. And that's, I said, I worked in it, so I know exactly who, what, when, where, why, and it is all over the United States.
Wise, I'm calling in sick next Tuesday.
Wow.
I'm calling in sick next Tuesday.
Somebody needs to do a real expose on that. Somebody needs to do a real expose on the new institution of protesting.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. I didn't know it was big money. I didn't know it was big business. I knew people were getting paid. I didn't know it was like that. That sounds very well organized. Wow.
You're right, Crystal. That just forgot to tell us that she left that job because she was getting paid more.
That's wild.
That's crazy, man. Shout out to R. Payne MPS with the $5 super chat. Says, do people see the parallels between the open rebellion of blue states to the open rebellion of the old South slave states, all Democrat run? Wow. We've been talking about that a while. There is a direct correlation. Shout out to Space Crimes and, how do you say that again? Chisholm. Goodness gracious, man. Thank you for joining the ARP family. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. We're going to keep it moving. I want to play this next clip here. The fraud investigations up in Minnesota. I'm hoping that there are widespread fraud investigations all around the country.
Yes.
We can start with Minnesota. I'm good with that. But what we've uncovered in Minnesota, what do you think we would uncover in California? What do you think we uncover in Oregon? What do you think we uncover in Washington or New York or New Jersey or Massachusetts? Oh my goodness, Taxachusetts.
We probably got it here too. So
Maine, Maryland.
Definitely. I think it should be simultaneous because while they're doing Minnesota, you better believe that people that are doing that in other states are doing everything they can to hide the money.
That's right.
Well, they're already. I have come across some things where they were talking about, man, they're already, deleting and hiding and so they're CYN for sure. They're CYN for sure.
Yeah.
Let me play this for you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that it needs to be said that Governor Walz needs to step down. Him saying he will stay on to investigate is like O.J. Simpson saying he will investigate the murder of his ex-wife. Just doesn't work out.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. A lot's been made out of what's going on in Minnesota, and a lot more is going to be. It's in the billions of dollars of fraud. A lot of people want Tim Walz put in jail. I doubt that's going to happen. Being incompetent was a crime. Most of Washington, D.C. being changed. So,
Representative Robbins, do you have any examples of how the Walz administration blocked investigators from moving forward with high priority fraud investigations?
Yes, we do, Mr. Chairman. I've met with whistleblowers and gotten documents from them about how after the original CCAP whistleblower report came out in March and April of 2019, subsequent to that, there was an Office of Inspector General within DHS that had investigative authority to do surveillance, warrants, and seize electronics, and they were shut down. They were told they could no longer do criminal investigations. They were told they could no longer meet with the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension agents that were assigned to them without supervisor's approval. And instead, when they found one of the other members talked about how they changed the language. They went from calling it fraud to calling it overbilling. And they created an overbilling committee to all the investigative agents now couldn't do criminal investigations, and they had to flag issue overbilling, and then a committee would decide if any of that overbilling would be recouped.
Committee appointed by Walz?
No, appointed within DHS.
Oh, appointed by the own bureaucracy.
Yes, so they shut down criminal investigations. They created a committee to call it overbilling and decide if overbilling investigations would even try to recoup the money.
This is evidence that
Under Governor Tim Walz, billions of dollars intended for families in need, housing for disabled seniors, and services for children were diverted to benefit fraudsters. I am here this week to signal the U.S. Treasury's unwavering commitment to recovering stolen funds, prosecuting fraudulent criminals, preventing scandals like this from ever happening again, and investigating similar schemes state by state.
You know what's interesting about Tim Walz? Why do you think Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz? Nobody knew who he was before.
Why? That is interesting.
The first day he's chosen, he raises the most amount of money than any other candidate in history. I think it's over $35 million he raised for the campaign within just a day of being selected to become the vice president. And now we know all this fraud's happening. How did Tim Walz, he used to be a high school football coach. He's not even from Minnesota. He's from Nebraska. How was he able to raise the most amount of money?
That's great. Do you think the Somalians were funding it?
100%. It had to be some sort of fraud.
It's not incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
That's not incompetence.
No.
Not at all. But Jay Witt, I'll give you the first word, bro.
No, I think I'm with you. I'm hoping that not only will this fraud be investigated in Tim Walz's neck of the woods, but spread across the country. We've got to fix this. This is ridiculous. We've always known the government has been wasteful, but to the degree and extent, I think people, now that's something I think people, I don't even need to get paid to protest that. I think we can get out there and protest that. It's ridiculous. And at some point, you're no longer trying, you can't use the shield of we're trying to do the right thing, or if you cut these services, you're going to hurt others. Think about how many people are being hurt right now with this amount of fraud. So yeah, I'm all for investigating this for sure.
Celeste, you want to go?
I'm going to piggyback on my comments on Tuesday. I believe somehow the Somali fraudsters knew that they should have a direct line. When you called them, the call was immediately diverted to Tim Walz's office. He was the person they said they wanted to answer all the questions and to be the face of their operations. So clearly, he has a direct association, at least in terms of communications, or else they wouldn't have been allowed to use his office phone number. So I would be very interested to see if he had a direct line to them in other ways financially. And I'm going back to the same thing. I want them exposed. Yes, we can put him on trial. Yes, we should investigate him. Yes, we should take however many months it takes to prepare the documentation for an indictment and a grand jury, to assemble a grand jury. But before any of that happens, I want the pictures. I want the photos of the checks. I want to see him. You know, every bank has a camera for every teller. I want to see him at the teller cashing his checks. And I will say this, who seems to be flying slightly under the radar, but in my mind, because of the way he's been so mouthy, the one we really need to look at is that mayor of Minneapolis, who said to get the out of Minnesota. Maybe he's so adamant and so aggressive about getting investigations and the federal investigators out of Minnesota is because he don't want to see what phone lines come to his office.
I agree with that. Wow. AT?
You know, I look at the situation. First of all, hats off to Nick Shirley for kind of unearthing everything that's going on there. He should not have to. We have to raise our bar and our standard as an American society, because if not, it's just going to get us significantly worse. We shouldn't be okay with our mainstream media lying to us. And many times we've come across and had to fact check them, and somehow they still have a job and people still listen to them. We should not have to wonder if our money is being used appropriately. We have on one hand individuals who are protesting, who want their freedoms, their materialisms, their selfishness, but don't actually care where their money is going. They'll be the first ones to say, I don't like being taxed. But when their tax dollars are going towards something that is illegal, well, we don't really care. And I look at this situation and I see a lot of people who are shockingly pushing against this. They're saying, oh, they shouldn't have gone there and knocked on the door, leave the Somalis alone. They're immigrants. They should have protected status. And that's the problem that we have. We have no morality anymore as a society. We don't care about the difference between right and wrong. We care more about winning versus losing. It is objectively wrong to take money and put it anywhere else other than what you have been told is supposed to go towards. That should be an elementary school level conversation. And yet for some reason, we have grown adults who care about that winning aspect so much more than being right or accurate that they'll say, well, no, it's just Trump's fault. He's evil. Well, no, people on the right, there's an echo chamber. They're just so mean and they're racist and they're hateful. None of those words, pretty as they sound, change the reality that their money does not add up. The numbers don't make sense. And I truthfully hope after this is over with, I know that I'm supposed to say, well, just forgive them and let them move on. I forgive them and hope that they find heaven. They know Jesus Christ. Send them over to CCOC. Seriously, make a deal with that country and say, hey, look, the murderers, the pedophiles, the individuals who have defrauded the United States government and the American people, there is no rehabilitating that. We hope that they find a Bible while they're in there, send them to prison so we can get back to a level of morality that should be universal in this country. But y'all, you have to understand, we live in the United States now where the idea of protecting your fellow citizen doesn't exist anymore, where the idea of having patriotism for your country does not exist anymore, where the idea of everyone just knows the difference between right and wrong and you can trust a stranger on the street to know the difference between right and wrong, it does not exist anymore. And if we don't get back to that point by actually punishing these individuals, Tim Walz, I agree with the gentleman, he's probably not going to jail. It's going to be talked about in the news cycle, and as soon as CNN finds out their new marching orders, they're going to talk about something completely different, probably these riots. And 4 years will go by, he'll be done, he won't run again, and we'll just talk about this as, you remember that one guy who apparently looked like a Lorax? Whatever happened to him? We have got to start being about action and not just being upset.
I would agree. I have a question for you guys. What are your thoughts on our politicians' main job, as I think we discussed this on Tuesday, Celeste, of calling people for money, asking for donations? It sounds like Tim Walz got the nod to become VP because he could raise money. And when you hear, AOC is a face of the party because she raises a lot of money. Jasmine Crockett, the same. She raises a lot of money. It's never really a talk about the policies, how effective they are in their communities or in their districts, or how great they are for their constituents. It's about who can raise the most money.
That's right.
That's got to change. That has to change. But who will stand up and hold these people accountable and say, hey, this can't be how our politics work. And this is not the job that we put you guys in office to do.
But that's been a long time being built up. That's been going on for a long time, and that's the norm now. It's within the deep fabric of our political system, and it's something that can't be undone easily. The people. Again, our Constitution was set up so that the people had the power, but they convinced the people that they have the power, and so they can make all the rules. People, they took civics out of our schools. The average American does not understand how our country is supposed to run, and so because of that, they don't know that they can get together and put demands on their local and national politicians to do what they want them to do. And until that happens, which is never going to happen as far as I can see, it will never change. Money will always be the thing that runs our country.
Minister Danzel, you have people nowadays who genuinely do think all of this is Trump's fault. They could not tell you who their governor is, their state senator is, who serves on the Supreme Court for their state, let alone their local mayor or any of that cabinet. They have no idea. Most Americans think it is all hinging on who that presidential candidate is, which is why you need to go out and vote this year. This election is actually more important than the one that put Trump in office. But most Americans don't even know the 3 branches of government, so they have no idea what their vote actually means.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm okay with the idea that the candidate gets to select their own running mate for whatever reason they select them for. This is only happening. This is all of our fault. This is our fault.
Thank you.
Our fault. We have left our responsibility. Being a citizen was not to lay down and be able to have lattes and go out and protest. And that is not what your job is as a citizenry. It's great that you live in a country that affords all of that for you. And we should be thankful that we were lucky enough to be born in America. But for that, there is a responsibility. We have a job to do here. And the job is to hold our people accountable. I don't care who Kamala Harris said she wanted to run with. She could have wanted to run with Charlie Brown. It is my choice to say no to that. I get to veto her decision to do that with my vote. But again, laying around, sipping lattes, trying to do self-care and not go crazy with all of your depression and anxiety is the abdication of your job as a citizen. And we in our schools and in our homes are not raising people to understand this isn't free. We expect something in return for this.
I just think at this point, I love the fact that Trump announced, was it Trump? No, it was J.D. Vance that announced that they will be there bringing in an assistant attorney general now, a new assistant attorney general now, and their focus will be on fraud across the entire United States of America. And I think that is absolutely necessary because all these people have been doing is stealing from us and stealing from us and stealing from us. And we just sat there and took it. And then you have the left producing as much lies and as much propaganda so that everyone will stop looking at the fraud. All of the chaos that is happening is to hide all of the fraud. And they knew when Nick Shirley, I got love for Nick Shirley because that's my boy. He just be everywhere. That man went to CCOT. My goodness, that's what I love him.
Yeah.
So when Nick Shirley unearthed that was such an embarrassment to them. People are already talking about the alleged fraudulent, and I'm just gonna say alleged for social media purposes, fraudulent behavior of Act Blue and how people were paying money that they didn't even know. They were like, wait, why is my name saying I gave all these donations? I'm not even a part of the Democratic Party and I don't understand. And everyone is clueless. So they already saw that. And then Dick Shirley came and unearthed this. Now, mind you, this has been going on for a while. And Tim Walz sat there with his red, shiny head and go sit down there and lie in people's face and say, we've been trying to take care of this for years. We welcome anyone that could come in here from both sides to help us. Now, when Trump sends an ICE to start removing the illegal immigrants, all of a sudden now, no, I don't understand why we're at war with the government. So you're talking out both sides of your mouth. And again, I remind people, especially for my Christ followers, God is not the author of confusion. So if you are in alignment with Tim Walz, you are out of alignment with God. Simple as that, because this man just sits in your face and lie. And Jacob Frey needs to be slapped from here to thy kingdom come, because that man is no leader. He is, in fact, he's an insider, because as we all agree, if Trump said what Tim Walz would have been bad, if Trump had said what Mayor Jacob Frey had said, they would have been like, he is inciting an insurrection. Look, he's trying to set up but y'all don't say that. But what Jacob Frey got up on that TV and said to everybody when he told ICE to get the F out of here and then turn around and say, we as Minnesotans need to stand together and protect our immigrants. Y'all don't think that's an insight of insurrection? I don't know. Nowadays, I don't even understand people's definitions. They saying Trump is in war in Venezuela. We're not in war. They're saying that what Jacob Frey and Tim Walz is doing is peaceful when it's not. The woman trying to run over the ICE agent, she was just trying to go home safely, and she was just a sweet poet. Like y'all are just confused. I'm just sick of all of y'all. All these lefties, I'm just sick of all of y'all.
I'm with it 100%. I'm with you, Crystal, 100%. I want to push back a little bit on AT in reference to legacy media. I think legacy media needs to just be put out the pasture, man. And I think that the citizens need to take their place in America, and they need to go out there and utilize their First Amendment. We need more citizens following what Nick Shirley's example. We need more of that. The legacy media has shown us that they cannot be trusted. And they've shown us time and time and time again that they are not to be trusted. And we need more people to take up the torch like Nick Shirley and to go out there and operate in their First Amendment and expose these people wherever you are, whatever state you're in, California, it doesn't matter, from coast to coast. We need the citizens to step up. That's what we need.
You're muted, Minister Denzel.
Last year, I was interviewed by Michael Mercer of Empower America, and I expressed to him the importance of the citizens understanding in their local areas how important it is for us to confront media. When they say something or do something that is criminal or lie, we need to start. They're protesting these ICE agents. We need to be going to these media, these legacy media buildings and doing protests out there with our big signs, stating the lies that they told, and asking them to come out and explain to us why they're lying to us. Because that's how we're going to shut their credibility down. Why don't we protest out in front of their studios? They tell enough lies for us to do it every day.
I
think we have to really think of, go ahead, Crystal, please.
No, I was gonna say that's why what we do here in all the different facets that we do is necessary, because we need to get it out here, get the truth out. But I also say when we have the people going out there and revealing the truth, exposing truth, we got to protect them, because they are coming for Nick Shirley's throat. Thank goodness for Officer Tatum providing him with security. Nick Sorter, who you just showed, I watched his video where they were chasing his car down the street, and Officer Tatum said, "I will send security to you. Do you need help?" So there's a woman that I think AT knows, because we see her on TikTok. Her name is Nakia. I forgot her last name, and she's in Columbus, Ohio, and she has been whistleblowing and letting things know that what's happening in Columbus, Ohio, and she has to be in hiding because they have been threatening her life like crazy. So we, the people, not only are we supposed to be revealing, we got to protect our brothers and sisters that are out there, that are actually standing up and exposing the truth, because these psychos is trying, and yes, I'm not apologizing, they're psychopaths that are trying to take these people's lives for revealing the truth. You want to take people's lives for protecting your livelihood, the country, because we only have one country. I don't understand what's wrong with you crazy people. This is the only country we have. This is the last one standing. Please, why would you want to destroy the only? Where y'all gonna go? If y'all don't want to be here and y'all want to be communistic and Marxist and socialist, we'll drop you off in Russia. We'll drop you off in China. We'll drop you off in North Korea. Where you want to go, Afghan? We will make sure you get there. Wherever y'all, Afghanistan, wherever y'all want to go. Leave us here in America, please.
Chris, it's the reality check that they need, honestly. You kind of hit the nail on the head. It is they're out of touch with the actual truth of the world that we live in. They've never left their little city. They only watch pop culture media. They only watch CNN. And so they have this weird sense of empowerment that allows them to go out and say ridiculous things. But you're right, they're not going to leave the country. They will say, I hate the United States. They will burn the flag of the United States. They will speak out against the military, the people who are elected and in charge, but they're not going to leave. They just want to be able to sit down. At this point in time, it's a way to fill in that wasted time that they have. Disassociating, wake up real quick, go do a protest, talk about it on Instagram, and that's your next high until the next time that this comes through. Why I take that rebuke, I absolutely do, because mainstream media, they have taken the First Amendment right of the press, and they don't consider any kind of honesty associated with that. It's entertainment at this point in time. If it's going to incite people and get them excited and get them upset, absolutely run that news source. If there's anything that comes out that goes against it, we'll hush hush on that one for a little bit. We want people to be excited. We want them to continue tuning in to what's going to tell them what they want to hear anyways. No one actually on the left turns on Fox Media to say, you know what, what's the other side saying? And I know it goes both sides of the aisle regardless. And we see what's happening in our country where at the end of the day, the same people who say they want to have a civil war have never fired a weapon before. The same individuals who say it's okay to push back against ICE have completely forgotten about violence. They want to call things these harsh words because they sound so exciting. It's murder, it is scandalous, it is treason, all these things that are meant to elicit emotion. And no one asks the question anymore, is it accurate? We blindly trust the mainstream media because they say the things that make our hearts skip a beat, while at the same time our souls are going down to the pits of hell because a fool avoids any kind of rebuke.
They wanted all the January 6 people to be locked up, but they don't want nobody locked up that's doing this damage against ICE. It's crazy.
Right.
It's hypocritical, and it's dangerous. And I think that we have to show up in numbers too. You know, if they're going to protest, why should we give them the streets? And why should we let them attack our ICE agents who are doing their job? Why don't we have other crowds out there and show that we have numbers on our side too?
Absolutely.
I think we also need to be arresting, because the Democrats will not. We need to arrest, and not just arrest, lock you up, because they will. If they could have put Trump in prison, they would have. If they could have put everybody, they put all of the J6ers in prison. Listen, all of them need to be in prison. I need to see, because as I said, we know. Let me do. I wish Jay Witt had his thing right now. We don't know, but we know now. We know, but we know. You know,
I can't play
we know.
I know.
We don't know,
Yeah.
right? Because Tim Walz, come now. You didn't know about the fraud. Ilhan, are you trying to say you didn't know about the fraud? Come now, Jacob. Y'all didn't know about the fraud. Omar Fateh, y'all ain't know about that fraud over there. Governor Newsom, that nice house. You didn't know about that fraud? Come now, please. All of them need to be sitting behind bars. They need to go hang out with Diddy and Maduro and the rest of them in prison. That's where they need to be. Because for real, let the Democrats get back in power. They will throw every one of the Republicans that stood up for truth right in prison if they can. So it needs to be done.
And I'm going to piggyback off Crystal real quick. just like she's saying, when she said earlier about allowing wrongdoing to go uncorrected actually begets more wrongdoing.
Yeah.
That's exactly why you have to have this exposure. Absolutely. They'll go to jail quicker once it's exposed. But as long as they have the ability to hide in the shadows, now what are we giving them? We're giving them time to destroy evidence, to put their ducks in a row, to get alibis, all of that, which makes a case harder. Expose them immediately and then work the case after it.
And I just want to add one more thing. And this is why, I don't know if y'all caught when Tim Walz says, and they won't even give us the whistleblowers. They won't tell us why would they tell you who the whistleblower is? I don't know, but I don't know. What happened to Melissa Hortman? I'm just saying, why would they tell you who the whistleblowers are? I mean, come on now, ain't nobody stupid. But they want to know who are the people that is unearthing and sharing all of the darkness that they're doing. Listen, it is coming to light, and y'all aren't going to find out who the whistleblowers are, because we know what y'all would do to those poor people.
Yeah, they're definitely not to be trusted. They are not to be trusted with that type of information.
Right.
No way.
And
they're
that's
not
why
to be trusted.
That's why I'm for simultaneous investigations. Get them all at one time. Hit them all at one time.
I mean, think about this. Marco Rubio, when he was asked, hey, before the operation, why didn't you brief Congress? You know what he said? He said the reason why we didn't do it because we were afraid that they would leak it.
Mm-hmm. And they would.
And they would.
Why would they not? Why would you?
They would. Big Mouth Crockett would have been on the news and on The View or something. The first thing she could do it. Come on now.
On TikTok. She'd put that joint on TikTok. You know.
Right?
Big Mouth Crockett. That's the first one. That's the first time I heard that one.
It's true though.
Super chats. Shout out to R Payne MPS with the $5 super chat. Says TW Tim Walz is the Manchurian candidate in real life. He is a perfect, useful idiot for a foreign adversary. As with all empires, they fall from within. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Very true. Shout out to Molly Page joining the ARP family. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Molly,
shout out to Deb, been a member for 3 months. Expose fraud immediately. You need 24-hour security. Yeah. Well, the young lady out there in Ohio, Nakia, she's been doxxed, and they came to her house, and so yeah, she's in hiding. Let's make sure that we keep her lifted up in prayer. For sure out there, and keep her hopefully that we can keep her lifted up and for her safety out there, man. It's crazy. Shout out to my guy Jeff over there from It's Not Your Fault, Al-Anon Recovery Channel, with the $11 super chat. Says Omar comes here with $60K in debt, now worth $30 million, less than 8 years. Wow, incredible. Investor, I assume. Yeah. And thank you, Jeff, again for the $11 super chat. It says, words matter. When you constantly call a person or a group a hateful name, eventually the soft-minded will think they justify in unaliving these people or groups. It's by design.
That's correct.
Yep. Thank you, Malachi. Appreciate you, brother, for the $1 super sticker. Appreciate you, bro. Be safe out there on the road.
For sure, for sure.
Shout out to Martha Hall with the $2 super chat. Says, love y'all. Thank you.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, let's keep it moving. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this or read about this, but Trump is looking to issue a ban against corporations buying homes. I want to play this for you guys, and then we'll get into it. And AT, I'll give you the first word.
Thank you.
Today, President Donald Trump announced that he was going to work with Congress to codify in law banning corporations from owning single-family homes. That is a good thing. That is something, quite honestly, that should have been done a long time ago. The reason why I'm frustrated and baffled is because it's a lack of leadership, yet again, from the Democrats to not have led on this issue. We talk all the time as a Democratic Party about how we support the little guy. Yet here is a great example that isn't new, that isn't novel, that you could have done to advantage the little guy, advantage families, advantage individuals from being able to be homeowners in this state. But we didn't do it. And it's not novel and new because I've been talking about this for over 10 years. 10 years ago, when I was the first millennial ever elected to the state legislature, I tried to introduce legislation that said no corporation should be able to compete against a first-time home buyer in California. And no first-time home buyer should have to have that burden of needing to compete against an all-cash offer from a corporate investor. I couldn't even have that conversation with my Democratic colleagues at that time.
Look, what's the target of the administration is getting the American dream back on track after 4 years of Joe Biden destroying the housing market. The good news is we have a builder-in-chief, not just a commander-in-chief. He understands the real estate market. He understands the importance of keeping home prices high, but at the same time making it so that way people can finally afford a home again. You know, during Biden's term of 4 years, you had massive inflation. Mortgage rates went through the roof. Nobody could afford a home. And the only people who could afford a home were these big corporations with balance sheets. So it's time that corporations stop owning these homes and people start owning and living in these homes as nature intended.
You know, it always impresses me how few people, one, know that this is happening, and two, don't understand the implications of anyone just buying up a large amount of land and a large amount of homes. I wish Trump would have said corporations in foreign countries, because we have a lot of foreign countries that own a significant amount of land in the United States, and that one's never been able to be explained to me in a way that makes any kind of patriotic sense. But let's talk about it, okay? One, this is obviously happening. That's real. I worked at BlackRock for quite a few years. This is something that they very proudly do. But the issue is when you go out as a corporation and you buy up a large slew of homes, one, you reduce that supply. That's a pretty common sense one. Less homes out there because you bought a whole bunch of them, but when you reduce that supply, it drives up home prices. I know you might say, well, they're going to do something great with them. Okay, congratulations. I have some cartoons for you to watch because apparently that's where you get your research from. It's going to raise your rent. It's going to shift the wealth upward, which is one of the reasons why the fourth branch of the government known as BlackRock continues to do it. It's going to weaken your stability in the community that you have. It's going to increase eviction risk because local landlords suddenly don't have this impact. Now you have an organization, doesn't know you, doesn't care about you. You're just a line item on a sheet of paper for them. And this is objectively something that harms, especially first-time home buyers, your veterans, your single-family income, or single-parent incomes. They can't go out now and get houses because they don't exist anymore. Corporations are taking them, utilizing a lot of the tax benefits that come whenever you look at property as an asset class. I'm happy that this is happening. I am certain that somehow people on the left are going to say, well, this is awful. They should be able to do whatever they want to do. Y'all, corporations are not your friend. I'm going to tell you the truth. They are not your friend. They do not care about you. They care about, at the end of the day, how much money they have to show their shareholders so their price can continue to go up and they can continue to operate. BlackRock's the number one example of that. Hopefully this goes through. Hopefully we can start getting some power back to the people, which includes your ability to have land one day and not have to live paying rent for the rest of your life.
Celeste?
These are the people that claim that they have an affordability crisis. And somehow what they have said in their affordability crisis is the only way to solve it is to transfer the wealth of working and middle-class people through taxation from them to the government so that they can build socially engineered small housing. So if you go and look in socialist and communist countries, how people live in one-bedroom studios and dormitory style housing. The housing is very small, and it's very difficult to have a family thrive in those types of physical conditions. When they say you're going to own nothing and love it,
be happy. Yeah.
this is exactly what they mean. Go look at the plan for these 15-minute cities. What they intend for you is to have these crackerjack style, box style housing, all in one place where all of your needs, which will be your basic needs, not your wants, your basic needs will be satisfied within 15 minutes of walking distance, because you can believe you won't have a car because they're not going to allow you to burn all that fossil fuel to drive anywhere and get out of there. And you can be managed and contained within a radius that they control. This is the vision. And how they have done this is they have convinced people that there's an affordability crisis when there is not. What there is a monopoly of places like BlackRock, Amazon, Bill Gates buying up all the farmland, Amazon buying up all the single family homes. And because those people are their largest donors, they get to go unscathed. And their answer to affordability is to tax you and take your money to build these crackerjack houses, which once they get rid of the jobs and implement a lot of technology that's going to remove you from your jobs and you lose the homes you're living in, then you'll be on the state and you'll have what they call social housing, and you will have a crackerjack box of your own.
Jay Witt?
No, I agree. As having children who are one day, I'm hoping that they'll move on and do things like that, great things with their lives. I want them to be able to have a home that's affordable and be able to pick up to be able to be in your 20s and actually buy a house or something of that nature, at least get started on a home. And at the current moment, that's not going to happen. So I am 100% in support of this idea of no corporations and no countries, foreign countries, in our housing market. I appreciate it, though.
Not just housing, though, Jay Witt.
Yeah.
Land as well, because we have found out that, the Chinese, they bought up, hundreds and thousands of acres around military bases. Yep. Corporations buying up housing. I know the brother LS mentioned that just in Atlanta alone, 3 companies purchased 19,000 homes. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. And I want to share this. This came from the president. I think this was a Truth Social. I don't think he uses X like that, but this is crucial. I want to share this with you guys. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but the president said for a very long time, buying and owning a home was considered the pinnacle of the American dream. It was the reward for working hard and doing the right thing. But now, because of the record high inflation caused by Joe Biden and the Democrats in Congress, that American dream is increasingly out of reach for far too many people, especially younger Americans. It is for that reason and much more, that I am immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single-family homes, and will be calling on Congress to codify it. My question to you guys is, will this get codified into law? Will this pass in the House? Will this pass in the Senate? That's my question to you all.
Completely
I hope
depends on
it
the
does. I hope it does, but you know, these people are crazy. When I look at all of this and just listening to that gentleman that said that he's part of the Democratic Party and he's been saying this for years, and they didn't even want to have this conversation. I look at them trying to put a wrench in this in Senate and Congress, and then blame Trump for it for some weird reason or the other. Like they'll find a way to say this is Trump's fault somehow or the other to try and make Trump look bad. And the thing is, I would think by now, and this is how I keep saying the people on the left, they are possessed by something dark and ugly.
Call
Because let's
money.
be real.
Call money.
Yes, because let's be real. Trump could find the cure for cancer, and they will still find the problem. They are fighting. They want to tear him down. They want to throw this administration away, and they keep doing things to help the American people. And everything, when you combine with this, with what you just shared about Minnesota, you're looking at the left continually trying to tear America down. As Celeste she just said that because I was thinking this myself. They want us to own nothing and be happy. They have their pack. What is it? The plan for 2030. What was it called? Whatever it's called. Agenda 2030. They have Agenda 2030. They have Agenda 2050. They have the Pact for the Future. They have all of these things set in place to destroy America. And I feel like they will find a way not to push this through because we have rhinos in Congress. That's the problem. We have rhinos in Congress. If we didn't have rhinos in Congress and we have people who stood with what Trump was doing to help save America, I think I would sit here and say boldly and proudly, it's going to get through Congress and they're going to push it through the Senate and everything will be good. Yeah. But we have rhinos. We have people, and that's why I tell people all the time. People are like, oh, Krista, you think everybody on the right is good. No, I don't. I know that there are bad people on both sides. I know that there are people that are stuffing their pockets on both sides. So when they should be doing the good things, they're not. They're doing anything to kind of sabotage this administration and destroy America. Let's just be real. So at this point, I pray that this goes through because this will be a blessing for so many, because as you just said, LS said it, Jay Witt knows it. We know down here in Atlanta, they buying up houses like ain't nobody's business. I remember when houses in Atlanta was a few $100,000, and now it's up there. Every time I look, oh, this house is like 2.5 million, and this house, and I'm just like, for what? But that's because these people's hands, and that's probably why the rent in Atlanta, apartment around here for a 3-bedroom is about what, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month. I'm just saying, this is because they do things like this, and people don't realize that. And when y'all think the Democratic Party got your back, this is what it looks like when they don't, because they don't care if you can't afford anything.
Absolutely. This is again another moment or another issue where we have to challenge the people of the United States of America, the citizens. If this doesn't pass, are you willing to blow up the phone of your representative? Let me go back to AT. First, go find out who your representative is. First, go do that. Go find, because I would almost assume most folks don't know who their representative is. No. So go find who that person is, get their contact information, their phone number, their email address. It's all public information. You can find it, and you need to be blowing them up. You need to
let me stop for a second.
Go for it, Jay.
Interrupt. Do it now.
Yeah.
Don't even wait for it not to pass. Do it now on the assumption that you need to remind your representative, your representative that you are here. Like, hey, remember me? Before you go vote, I just want you to know, remember us. We're here. We want this to go through. So we won't be surprised.
I don't have any confidence it's going to happen. I think it's because there's too much money being made by politicians to keep this thing going. I think that if Trump could find a way to form it in the form, shape his arguments in the form of a national necessity, and he can do an executive order or something like that. That might be the better way to go, to get past all of these rhinos and people who don't really care about American citizens. But I think that this is another point that you brought up, Wise. I think that this is the tip of the iceberg. This is one of many reasons why they didn't want Trump to get in office, because there was so much of this kind of corruption going on that they had to demonize him and put him in jail or kill him, whatever the case might be, to keep him from getting in a position where he can start unfolding and uncovering and encountering all of this kind of corruption. You think about the people that these billionaires that are buying up farms. This is not an accident. They're trying to control the food, because they control the food, you control the people. They don't not only are they buying up the farms, but they're actually cultivating all of the natural real seeds from the real fruit and vegetables, and then they're genetically modifying so they can control the genetic modification, and they can control how much food is produced. You see, this is criminal. This is not something this should be seen as a criminal act, but there's not being done because too many people with money and power are in control of this kind of thing. So my question, I mean, have you tasted your vegetables lately? Have you tasted your fruit lately? The fruit has no taste, the vegetables, because they're creating it in a way that it makes money for them. They don't care about the nutrition, and you wonder why people are getting sick. So there's a whole lot. The rabbit hole is so deep that we need somebody like Trump to do what he's doing, but we need to get behind him, and we need to be publicizing all of these different criminal things that are happening so that the people understand why we're making this kind of fuss.
Yeah, and Jay, just to piggyback on Jay Witt, you're absolutely right. I actually think most of these politicians are very weak, and they appear strong because they never have any pressure. You find out what happens. It just the citizen recalling, blow up those phone lines, break the internet that goes to the Congress and sending emails, and which are all public. The phone numbers are all public except Tim Walz's goes to the Somali fraudsters, but everybody else is all public. And I think we wouldn't have a problem passing this, because I actually think that they're weak. They will go in any direction. They don't get direction from us, so they're allowed to do what their donors ask them to do. They're never in any conflict because we don't apply any pressure.
Wise, to answer your question, I don't think that it's going to pass. I agree with Minister Danzel, because money is so extremely powerful to a lot of these individuals. And as soon as they realize, well, I can do the right thing, I think it's really easy to say this is the right thing to do, to pass something that says that only an individual can own a home. But if they have to lose a digit at the end of their paycheck, if they have to tank their investments, if they have to potentially not be in office the next term, power and money, they're not going to give that up. We know that Trump can't do it in executive order because federal judges absolutely break an arm, patting themselves on the back, trying to stop everything that he does. So it would have to go through Congress. They'll probably stall until the midterms. Unfortunately, if you were to ask me, I think the midterms are going to be a lot closer than people think they will, because people don't really care as much as they want to. At the end of the day, most people don't even vote regardless for the president, let alone for the local area. You can try and call your representative, your senator, whoever it may be. I know a young lady who lives in Arizona who tried calling, went straight to voicemail, never heard from them again. And she will probably not vote for that individual, but most people don't care at that level. What it's going to take, unfortunately, is for it to get so bad for these individuals that live in the cities that they can't complain and blame it on Republicans anymore. They'll have to sit down and look and realize, wow, we kind of sort of, to Celeste's point, did this to ourselves by our inaction. I can either bend over, here it comes again, or I could do my research and try to actually push up from this. But I don't think it's going to go through. I really don't think it's going to go through. I think that, to Crystal's point, there's a lot of Republicans who are only doing what keeps them in office. But the second you take away that money, no, they're going to fall right back in line with the system and do everything that they can to keep their power, even if it means harming their own constituents.
Let me jump in real quick before we end. I understand what you all are saying, so I don't disagree with the notion that this could go either way, and it's probably going to go in a negative direction. I don't think people are ever going to wake up and say, this is our fault. This is what we've done. Did y'all not see those black, quote unquote, faith leaders, pastors in New York complaining to Trump about property taxes? Yes. And I mean, they're blaming it on Trump living in a Democratic city. I mean, if that's not, hey, if I'm gonna join Denzel and AT in negative land, I'm riding that car. That's the car I'm taking to get to negative land. I'm like, these people literally live in a Democrat-run city, and they're blaming the president for something that their Democrat elected officials did. That right there will cause me to not be optimistic, to be extremely negative about this and pessimistic about this, because I don't think they'll ever learn. I don't think they'll ever learn. And I hate to say it, 20 years from now, there'll be ads on television. Is your life worse because of President Trump? Well, there's gonna be some kind of medicine. They're gonna come up with some kind of medicine because of it.
Oh no.
You know, is your left toenail infected? You might have Trumpitis. And then they're gonna come up with some ad. There'll be an ad for it, man. Come on, man. There's no way.
You mentioned these black pastors up there, and I'm
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Hey, I'll get you started. I absolutely
left
will, because you know this is something that always gets me fired up. I just y'all know I switched over from TikTok to YouTube. I only got one video on my channel, but we're going strong. And I looked into the CNN article. It was about 2 years ago, right before the election. There was these two black pastors and one white pastor, or reverend, excuse me. They love their titles. And they were absolutely co-signing on to every ridiculous thing that CNN was talking about when it comes to Trump, his election coming up, and what he plans on doing. And it's almost as if it's a tagline that they all mail to themselves in these democratic cities at these quote unquote churches. They all say the exact same thing. Well, we're not a Christian country. Wrong, by the way. It's actually really easy to prove that. They don't even mention Jesus in the Constitution. Who do you think here of the Lord was talking about? Exclusively and historically, it has 100% always been used to talk about Jesus. And we'll ignore the Declaration of the Independence. We'll ignore the Northwest Ordinance and everything else in the state constitutions. We will say whatever is necessary so my congregation gets full, so that I have people standing up and cheering for me. We're not going to talk about sin. We're not going to talk about truth. We're not going to talk about the hard right. I'm going to keep giving you the easy wrong, and I'm going to make you feel good while you hear it. You're empowered. You're saved. You're wonderful. Trump is really bad, and let's all band together because our skin color means more than our actual salvation, because our entitlement means more than actually being accurate. And as the world continues to burn around us, as long as we feel good from the flames, that's all that really matters.
Can I just clarify real quick? It was in New York, it's Chicago.
Yeah.
And
Chicago.
that's why I'm so
That's
I'm
New
so
York?
thankful. Yeah, it's
I just
Chicago.
said-
Yeah,
I
you said New York,
apologize.
but it's Chicago.
Sorry.
And that's why I love Danielle and the red flip Chicago red group, because they're going to make sure everybody in Chicago know it's them Democrats. Y'all can
Good.
go in front of Trump Tower, but we not stupid. We know who did it.
Mm-hmm. Two things. Well, I lost it. Crystal,
He's getting old.
never mind. It is what it is. I'm getting old.
He's getting old.
I'm getting old.
It's okay.
It's wild having Jason tell you you're getting old, by the way.
Give it to him, Jesus.
You see how he started?
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Jason?
I got it.
There we go.
I got
Good.
it. I got it. I got it. Minister Danzel, there was two things. Trump could implement this via an executive order, but we really don't want that to happen for a couple of reasons. One, it could just be overturned in 2028, potentially. It could, but we really want this to go to the House to be voted on. This is a midterm season. Hey, who's really for helping the American people generate wealth? Everybody understands, I think everybody knows this, that the number one way that Americans generate wealth in this country is through homeownership. I think everybody knows this. And we also know a lot of your young people, a lot of your millennials and the Gen Z folks that are now becoming adults, they have been complaining for the better part of at least 4 or 5 years now that it's too expensive. I'm not going to have the ability to buy a home. When you think about the average age of who's buying homes, it's almost 40 years old now. When that number, a decade ago, was maybe 10 years younger. So we don't want Trump to take this and say, hey, sign an executive order. No, send it to the House so we can get on record who's for the American people and who are against the American people. We need it on record.
Yep.
Excellent point. I think that also the message is very important. He got to put this thing together so well so it makes it clear to the public whose side he's on and whose side they're on. That message, I think though a lot of times we fail in our messaging and we let them out message us, and people start thinking the way they want us to think. We got to really hit with our message, our rational, intelligent message, so that people can't deny the difference between what we're saying and what they're saying.
And I just want to go ahead, Celeste.
No.
Okay.
You let me go before. Go ahead.
No, honey. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be quick.
I'm gonna jump in.
He can do that. He needs a similar type message. Put it on the Super Bowl the same way he did. Kamala is for they, them, and I'm for us. Very simple, cream cut. He knows how to do it. He should do something exactly like this with that bill. Bill's coming up on this day. Get one good tagline to say, I'm on your side. They're on this side. Whatever it's going to be, He knows how to do it, and he
Yep.
should.
And he absolutely should. Hey, that ad that he ran on it wasn't the playoffs. I think it was it wasn't the playoffs. It wasn't a Super Bowl. I'm talking about right before the election during football season. He ran an ad and he was talking about how they were paying for quote unquote gender care training changes and all this other kind of stuff for prisoners and all this other kind of stuff. That came out. I remember I was at my buddy's house. We hang out and we watch football on a Sunday to Sunday basis. And I remember watching that ad and we just all stopped and was like, wait, what? And I mean, it was probably about a 90-second ad, but everybody was locked into that 90-second ad.
For sure.
Everybody was. So I'm with you guys. Hey, Super Bowl ad and put it out there and you're like, hey, this is what our plans are.
Yep.
I love it. I love that idea.
I was just gonna correct you. We know that home ownership is wealth, but according to Sia Weaver, Mom Donnie's new tenant director, home ownership is white supremacy. I just want to clarify that for you.
Yeah, no.
Run that by me again. Someone said home ownership is what?
White supremacy.
It's white supremacy.
Yeah.
Oh, his tenant director.
Yeah, his tenant director. Yep, she said.
Programs.
Yeah, she said that it is white supremacy. So they please know that their language. I feel like these lunatics will make their language that see Trump is trying to push his white supremacy on all of you. Yeah. That's why he doesn't want the corporations to buy the homes. I'm telling you, these people are crazy and they'll come up with that kind of messaging. Watch.
Yeah, making my point. So that's why we have to make sure that when the legacy media starts spinning that message in the wrong way, we have to go after them.
Absolutely. Shout out to Colette joining the ARP family. Thank you, man. Shout out to Michael Vansky for the $10 super sticker. Appreciate you. Thank you, Martha Hill, for becoming a member as well. Thank you very much. Shout out to Al Young for the $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, Amethyst Angel, for the $2 super chat. Says 1984 in 2026, a boxed domicile and Big Brother's watching you. Yep. Shout out to Marla coming through with the $5 super chat. Says Jay Witt is so right. Don't blow his head.
Give him that. Don't give him that.
Hey, read what she said though, man. Don't spend so much time hating. Read what she said. This is serious, man. Hold on, let me adult supervision.
I love you, Jay.
In Illinois, our horrible governor is still taxing tips, even though Trump enacted no tax on tips.
Y'all know Jason screen recorded this, right? You know he's excited.
That's
crazy work.
States. That's a lot of blue states right now.
I think all the blue states, because I know here, I know in Maryland, same thing. They basically said, hey, no tax on tips, that overtime, we don't need our bread. Run us our money.
Wow, that's crazy.
And where's that being countered by our side? Making it clear what they're doing. See, that's my point. That's a great example of this. That I didn't know that. You don't hear many of us blowing them up about this.
All right, so Crystal,
I know different people have been talking about that. I do definitely
with this idea of wrongdoing going unchecked begets more evil, because we should have stopped this at sanctuary cities. They should never have been allowed to defy the federal government and usurp the authority of the federal government. And we have let these sanctuary cities stand unmolested, unupset, unobstructed in any way. And now they're doing the exact same thing with sanctuary cities with tips. They're bringing in their own national guard. They're doing all of this. We should have clamped down then. And now we have far more work to do because we didn't do the easy work then. Now we got big, hard work to do now.
Absolutely. Shout out to Deb Longo coming through with the $5 super chat. Says in 2020, before Biden was sworn in, we had 2.5% interest rates. Within 4 months, it went to 6.7% interest. What the heck? Yeah. Hey, I remember those interest rates back in the day. Oh my goodness, I remember those interest rates back in the day. Oh, I told folks, I was like, we may not ever see those types of numbers again. We may never see those numbers. Right now, and I was talking to my buddy, shout out to Jeff, and he was I think people would be ecstatic if the numbers dropped down to mid fours. People would be super excited.
Yes.
Thank you, Prince of Cats. for the $20 super sticker. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Last but not least, I want to play this clip from
Why, before you go to the next, they try to give Obama credit for that.
You broke up.
He froze up.
Oh, they froze up.
Credit.
He was saying they tried to.
He on that.
He's saying they tried to give Obama. He said they try to give Obama credit for the 2.5% rate. That's what he was
Talking
saying.
about the interest rates when Trump was in office.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put my nerd on hat on real quick and explain that one because that's not the least bit true at all whatsoever. It was supposed to be a crash in 2018 because the Trump policies was able to extend that going into COVID times. The reason why it went up so much is because during the lockdown, as he handed it off to Biden, he closed down the country, printed a whole bunch of money, and didn't have it come back into the American system. And so it made the economy run hot. We had a period of free money, which is why everyone was buying their houses. But once the money was not coming back in, interest rates skyrocketed. He tried his absolute best to use quantitative easing through the Federal Reserve System. Everyone was thrown off, by the way. In BlackRock, they told us to start saying bonds were back 2 years before bonds even started to make any kind of actual comeback. It upped in Wall Street. They couldn't figure it out. It's why the Fed is still in the situation because we have no money coming in, way too much supply constraints because obviously COVID-19 put us all inside and nothing could actually move. And so that's why Biden absolutely messed that up. You can look this up, Google the repo rate, figure out exactly what happened with that, the overnight lending rate as well. It also skyrocketed during Biden's presidency. So to say that Trump is not responsible for maintaining something that was supposed to end in 2018 and saying it's his fault when he handed it off to Biden and pretending like Biden had no impact is absolutely inaccurate and doesn't follow any kind of financial principle.
And it was predictable.
Yes, it was. Very much so.
Knew that that's exactly what was going to happen with that big, beautiful, not the big, beautiful bill. What would they have? The Build Back Better?
Yeah, Build Back Better. That's what it was.
That was, I think, purposefully intended to absolutely drive up inflation.
Excellent points.
I want to play this last clip for you guys, and then we'll get up out of here. Jay Witt's favorite guy, Stephen A. Smith. He does it again, man. He does it again.
Illness in some of these people, Stephen.
Well, not all of them. Time. You don't get to do that. Don't talk to me about mental illness.
There's mental illness in some of these people, Stephen.
Well, not all of them. Time. No. You don't get to do that. Don't talk to me about mental illness on the side of the right. But you have people talking about transgender without parental consent. And men transitioning to women and playing in women's sports and thinking that was okay. And people could be incarcerated and they could have sex changes and stuff like that. Oh, no. You don't get to sit up there and just point to the right about that and not act like there wasn't craziness on the left too. I'm a moderate who primarily votes Democrat. And I'm here to tell you something right now. I don't recognize this left. Or not this one. Not the one that I've been seeing over the last few years. I'm a moderate who will lean left on everything but dollars, meaning taxes. I can't stand high taxes in California, New York, New Jersey. Okay, I'm a fiscal conservative with my money. I'm liberal with everything else. And I'm still appalled by how far left the left has leaned. It's disgraceful. No common sense. And oh, by the way, when you talk about woke culture and cancel culture, don't come to me with the Republicans. It wasn't the Republicans that was trying to get people fired for pronouncing the wrong pronoun. That's the left. And you're appealing to a community, and in the meanwhile, you're turning your back on black folks who supported you since the 60s. Don't get me started with all of that. I got a lot of problems with Trump. I got a lot of problems with some of the things that I've seen from the Republican side. Most recently and then more immediate is the Affordable Care Act and the fact that they still haven't had a plan. All these damn years you had an opportunity to have a plan, and we still wait for the GOP to have a damn plan. You holding up everything, but you ain't got no damn plan. That's disgraceful. But I'm not going to act like it's just them. Oh, hell no. The left, the extreme left is what I'm talking about, not the moderate left. The extreme left is a damn problem. And that's why 77 million people stood up and said Donald Trump is closer to normalcy than some of those folks. And I don't blame them for feeling that way. I'll put myself on Front Street. I voted for Kamala Harris, but I didn't like it. At all. I just didn't trust Trump because I thought what would happen, what has been happening would happen in terms of stuff in the streets. That's a subject for another day.
Jay Wood, I'll give you the first word on your guy, man. What's up with your boy, man?
Okay, I need Stephen A. And I'm trying not to be harsh. Does Stephen A. Smith make any proclamation or any profession of faith at all?
I've never heard it.
And because the energy and the excitement that he has about these topics needs to be guided and directed by a Christian ethic, because it's really difficult and it's hard for me to process that you're against, liberal spending bills, but you're for all these other things. Because the things that he's pointed out, they didn't just pop up last Tuesday. They've been percolating for some time. So there's some point where you were okay with some of the things that were going on. They got us to here where we are now, where you saying you don't recognize it. Well, it was unrecognizable last week and the month before that and last year. Is, dare I say, even a decade before. I want to know what's Stephen A. Smith's biblical understanding, and I'm going to say biblical understanding. What is his ethic that drives his quote unquote conservatism or liberalism or his moderacy? Because it doesn't seem like it's guided. It just seems like it's guided by the wind. If you were rocking with Kamala, there's no way you can explain to me that you have an ethic that is even awake. Dare I say, even active. I mean, your ethic is sleep. If you say that you were good with Kamala because you didn't trust Trump, but you like what Trump is, sir, that doesn't even make sense. I'm sorry. So I like Stephen A. Smith's energy. I have to admit, he's passionate about things, and there's sometimes when he's really on the nose. This is not one of those instances, because it's really hard for me to process what he's saying about, again, the Democrat Party, when the Democrat Party's been like this, sir. Like, where have you been? Anyway, that's all.
Minister Daniels, I'll give you the next word, bro.
I'm glad that you brought this up, Brother Jason. I think he has a split personality.
It'd be split in the middle of a conversation, though. That's the part. Like,
that's my point.
He arguing with himself.
That's my point. It came out. I said that he needs to have somebody lay hands on him and cast that other half out of him. If he cast that other half out of him, he'd be all right. The brother has a split personality, and it came out in one message. It came out in one message. So you got to pray for the brother.
Look at the other cam. I'm arguing with myself on the other cam. Like, what the heck? How is this a thing? Like, but you know what though? I think this is something that Democrats need to pay attention to. This is how y'all sound. That's how y'all sound. Like insane. Like Stephen A. Smith does not sound anchored. I'm worried about him, man. Doing wellness check on my guy. Check him out. Anyway.
Crystal, I'll give you the next word.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that's literally Stephen A. And this is the thing, people need to, this is why your morality has to have some kind of clarity. You have to be centered. And because we are centered by the word of God, we can think straight. Because he literally is over here, then over there, then back here, then over here. You're right. He was arguing with himself. And the way you just painted that was spot on, because that's literally how he was looking. You were like, what are you talking about?
I'll get another hat.
It was all over the place. And I'm just like, and then
like, what the heck's wrong with you, my dude?
And then
what's wrong with you?
He was afraid of what would happen. He voted. He said, I'll put myself on Front Street. I voted for Kamala. I didn't like it, but I was afraid because of I knew Trump was going to do what Trump was going to do, which is what he's doing right now. What is Trump doing? I just don't understand. What is Trump doing? Unearthing the fraud, sending home the illegals, protecting our border, putting America first. I mean, reintroducing the Monroe Doctrine for everyone who doesn't understand it. What exactly is Trump doing? Because he said what Trump is doing out in the streets. What? Saving America? I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah, because I don't mean to jump in, but real quick, Trump isn't the one causing the shenanigans in the streets. Go look at Minnesota right now. That's not any red hat MAGA people running around there making autonomous zones fighting ICE agents. That's not, none of them are doing that. Okay, so that's not us. And I'll go as far as say it has never been us. You've never seen any Republicans, red hats out there causing chaos on a regular, large scale basis in the street. So the stuff that's going on in the streets, Stephen A. Smith, you're gonna have to answer for that. What is the stuff in the streets?
Because if we look at when Charlie Kirk was assassinated,
we didn't riot.
That's what I'm saying. The streets were filled with people praying and singing hymns and speaking the word of God. That's what you saw. You didn't see the summer of love. You didn't see what's happening right now. So to sit here and be like, well, I was afraid of what would be happening in this. What? And this is the thing. People don't know how to receive a man. I think that's what it is. They don't know how to receive a real man. They're used to the man that was licking on ice cream and telling everybody what's his favorite ice cream, laying on the beach, sometimes looking like he's pooping on his pants, didn't know which direction he was walking. That's what they used to. That's what they love. And then when they have the word salad Kamala Harris, who, Colombia is a country that is a Colombia, and then Colombia, so we all love Colombia. They're used to that foolishness. They don't know how to deal with a man that's giving common sense. That is the problem. And you see, Kamala's word salad I agree with that person in the comments, because that's exactly how I feel. That word salad has infected poor Stephen A. Smith's brain because he has no center, no foundation. So he's literally arguing himself on his show.
Hey, Walz, can you imagine a commentator saying, Steve, now what do you have to say about what Steve just said?
No, Stephen, tell me about what you think about that.
AT, what are your thoughts, bro?
One, my first thought is, how many hats do you have next to you right now, Jason? That's my first question I have.
I have a wall right here. I have a wall of hats.
Look, I don't watch a lot of TV, so my Stephen A. Smith catch-ups come here on this show, and I'm so confused. First, he said, Trump's not that bad, right? Honestly, y'all need to calm down. Then he immediately redacted that and said, no, at the end of the day, we got to roll with the Democrats. And then now we're here with this. This is a case for schizophrenia. That's what this truthfully is, because he said a lot of true things just now. And I'm not saying that someone who has a mental condition like he does is incapable of speaking the truth. But it goes back to what Jason said. I'm absolutely co-signing on that. Does he know the Bible? Does he know Jesus? People who talk like that, who are that in between, I'm a moderate, which means I'm better than the rest of you. I'm not on the left, I'm not on the right, I'm right in the middle. Y'all know the ones. You're so close. You're right there. You just have to fix that morality. You have to understand the true foundation of this nation. Every single right that you have, according to the Declaration of Independence, comes from the Creator. And if he takes that step, then maybe he'll start to understand what's going on. We know that a lot of people on the left, they don't read, despite the fact that they love saying how smart they are with their degrees. People on the left don't know how to have conversations. They don't know how to look at things critically. And you see in Stephen A. Smith, every once in a while, he kind of wakes up from that machine. He's like, well, y'all are saying that the right is crazy, but you're actively, this is real, look it up, allowing children to chop off their genitalia or their upper regions if they're a lady. And now we don't want you to have to even tell your parents. That is lunacy at the end of the day. That is insane. If you have any children, you don't want your kids to go outside and change something that's going to impact them the rest of their life without having a conversation with you first. But that's what the left is trying to do. I pray for Stephen A. Smith. I truthfully do. I pray for people in this comment section over here who are surprised that I keep talking about Christ, and yet you think that Trump is the Antichrist. I almost got through this whole show without saying anything about it, Crystal. Really? I was so close. I really was. I'm hoping somebody will send a super chat to Wise and say that ridiculousness so we can shut that down. I really hope that this nation starts to read again. Honestly, I hope that they start to look into answers for themselves and stop accepting that someone else is going to tell them the reality. Learn to do it yourself, and you'll be surprised at what you find. But the catch is, you can't be scared. I know that sounds really weird, a grown man telling you that you're scared. You're terrified. I know that you are. When you're so afraid to find out that you're wrong, it showcases that you don't care about the truth. Get rid of your cowardice, get rid of your fear, grow up and be a big boy and girl, and go look up the actual truth. See it from someone else's perspective. Not everyone lives in Los Angeles or Chicago. Some people live other places. Stop trying to tell them how to live their life until you understand them.
Celeste, get in there.
So I'm going to speak to the caller first. It has been well documented for a very long period of time, more than 30 years, that conservatives, when polled, when surveyed, absolutely consistently report that they have greater mental stability, they are happier, and they have less depression. So this is a pure projection of trying to pretend that, in fact, conservatives are mentally ill and we're all out here crazy and all of that. That's purely the projection of the left onto the right, because there is nowhere that you can find that conservatives for more than 30 years have not been reporting greater mental stability, less anxiety, and less depression. That is absolutely found in the left, particularly among women. And there's a correlation between the more radical and leftish you are and more liberal that you are, the greater your incidences of this depression and anxiety. So when we're looking at these women and saying, well, women are the majority of people enrolled in colleges, what we're also saying, and you should know the flip side of that is, then that means women are more likely to be anxious and depressed. So we've got to be very careful about celebrating these things, because the left is trying to flip this on us, and it is not true for us. And as for Stephen A., AT is absolutely correct. This is exactly the type of intellectual schizophrenia that you find from so-called alleged independents who are trying to publicly be independents and are privately Democrats. They force themselves into these ridiculous positions in public where they have to absolutely act and behave as intellectual schizophrenics, because this is what it looks like when you are trying to serve two masters. It cannot be done, and you look foolish. And that is the unfortunate position. You got Charlemagne, I'm not Democrat, I'm independent. Stephen A., I'm not Democrat, I'm independent. They're ashamed of their actual heart. Their heart is truly Democrat, but they obfuscate that by kind of run out and say, no, I'm really an independent. And as soon as they get ready to talk, they cannot talk independently. All they can do is try to find a way to pretend that there's something logical and right that they support. And they can't do it effectively, because in the end, this is why he said, I voted Kamala and I didn't like it, because you went with your heart.
Yep. I don't want to paint independence with a wide brush, but the people that I have come across that have said, hey, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, I'm independent, most of them they're all liberals. I haven't run across one person. Most people that were Democrat and they do flip to something, let me say this. If they will flip conservative, like if they really believe that the Democrats are crazy, they'll say, you know what, I'm just going to go the conservative route. The people that are, I guess kind of like your Charlemagne's and those, they're trying to, I guess be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for?
They're duplicitous.
Yeah. They'll come across and say, well, I'm not a Democrat, I'm independent. I have some of those in my family. Mm-hmm. But when you start asking questions and you listen to them and you hear their talking point, the talking points are liberal. And you can tell that they get their information from CNN or MSDNC or now, MS No One's Watching. You can tell where they get their information from, although they're trying to say, well, I'm an independent. It's really crazy that is the case.
They're trying to have their cake and eat it too, Wise. They recognize recognize the madness on the left, and so they don't want to identify with that, but they also don't want to accept the truths on the right. So they have to pretend that they're in the middle. But
I'll be honest with you. Most people, not trying to be ugly, because I used to call myself an independent when I left from being a libertarian. A lot of people just are not willing and bold enough to just say, I'm a Republican. And just leave it. Because I've yet to find a quote unquote independent person who is truly against left-leaning policies, that doesn't try to tap dance around left policies, whether it be drug policies, abortion, fill in the blank. I'm like, but you don't sound very conservative, very like you're conflicted. You sound like you're siding with the left. You just don't want to admit it, that you are a liberal. Just go ahead and say, I'm a Democrat, I'm a liberal, whatever you need, whatever the term is, just go and use it and be proud of it, and stop using this middle of the road, as Crystal said. You try to sit on the fence, you can get splinters in your butt. Like, just let it go. Like, and get it. You're either Republican or you're Democrat. There you go. Just say it and be proud about it.
The other side of things, I also, and I love the video that Dion did, because there are a lot of performative ones too. They're not actually Democrat. They're actually conservative, but because they want to be accepted within the community, they'll say they're independent and they'll have the liberal talking points, but they go and they vote conservative. They just don't want everybody else to know, because they want to fit in. They don't, they feel the peer pressure, because they don't want everybody to know
you know, they don't want, especially in our community, they don't want their black card taken from them. So they're like, you know, I'm independent. They speak the liberal conversation, but they're over there secretly voting conservative. And clearly we saw that happen during this last election.
Absolutely.
That's very possible.
Because they know the left will come after them.
Hey,
Jay Witt's hat wall, ladies and gentlemen.
Knew it.
And that's not all of them either. That's the bad thing. I have that's not even all of them.
Couple super chats I want to read, and we'll get ready to get up out of here. Thank you, Prince. I think did I see this on already?
Yeah,
Prince of Cats with the $20. This might be another one. Does anybody know the percentage of Americans who want to own a home no matter what color they are?
Yes,
Can I jump on this?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
No, this comment came in while we were talking about the bill that Trump. I think the number of people who want to own a home has gone down significantly because the price of houses are so out of range. If this were happening in the cars, you see the same thing. If every car was $100,000, people would be like, no, I don't see myself buying a car. I'm riding a bike. That's what they would be doing. But now that since cars are very reasonable, people buying cars. And I think the same thing with houses. At the moment, houses are out of range. I don't even hear my daughters talk about buying a house, and I'm like, ooh, all right, I'm praying, Lord, please, because the stuff they want, I'm like, man, it's crazy. But they're rare because most of their friends don't even talk about home ownership. They're fine with it. I mean, because it just seems out of range. It would be akin to saying, like, look, I'm about to buy a $300,000 car. That would just seem insane. But a $30,000 car? Okay, yeah, okay. All right, that's reasonable. That's back in the range of, because I bought my first house when I was 25. And I'm like, holy cow. Like, wait, I don't, I'm looking at my big girl, I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that one. So
I don't know. When
that was my answer to the question.
When I was in my younger, 20s, I wasn't thinking about buying a home because it didn't seem feasible at the time, for a couple of reasons. I was in the military. We didn't make that much money and I wasn't married. So I couldn't afford it. I wasn't even thinking about it. Couldn't afford it.
Correct.
So I think most younger people, now Jay Witt, you showing your age, talking about you did this at 25. How much was that house? 65,000.
Don't quote me on this, man. I had just started teaching. Don't quote me on this, man. It might have been. It might have been. I'm not even being funny. I want to say it was a townhouse, and it might have been like 98. I have to look up. It might have been 98,000.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, I didn't pay for it outright, of course, but it had some good equity in it when I sold it.
Okay. I'm sure you did. Thank you, Prince of the Cats, for the $20 super chat or super sticker. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Malachi, for the $5 super chat. Says Governor Pretzel also signed an $8 billion energy increase into law as well. Illinois can't charge super high gas prices. I think this is a result. Is that charge or change? I think
change.
You think he means change? Illinois can't change super high gas prices? Okay. Thank you, Malachi. Appreciate you, bro.
I mean, Illinois should be the blueprint along with Minnesota and California about how terrible it is to have people that bleed blue the way that they do running your states, for real.
Yeah.
Facts.
Shout out to E Big coming through with the $50 super chat. Shout out to you, man.
Amen to you.
Says amen. Amen. Appreciate you, man. God bless you. Thank you very much. Is it Showstein? Quentin? Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Coming through with the £2. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Can I just say this, please?
Thank
my
you.
gosh.
If you don't, I will. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Just because you hate yourself the way that you do, that is your business, young lady. Because you see, we can stand in our conservative values. We can stand. You can sit down here and want to call people raccoons and say about white talking points and black faces. That's a problem with you ignorant people because you don't know any better. You don't know what truth is. You would rather sit there in the lies and destroy your own community and think that these people are supporting you. They can't stand one bit about you. That's why they're destroying you, your community, and they use you like fools. Understand that you are a slave. You want to talk about us? No, you're the slave on the Democratic plantation. You ain't never getting off because you're that ignorant.
Shots fired.
Can I, if you don't mind,
Hey,
Watts? I
go for it,
absolutely
AT.
have to, because I was watching this conversation they were having, and a lot of individuals up there. Please understand, first of all, I am Christian. That is it. I know that your skin color is something that you're very proud of. I'm proud of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross, and that's always going to be number one for me. But here's the deal. You can actually find a solution to this. You do not have to, again, be scared. And yes, I'm telling you that you are scared. Instead of attacking the individuals up here, send a super chat. You got $2. I guarantee that you do. Send a super chat. Send the question that you have. Don't attack the person. Attack the argument. Let us know what we're saying that is wrong. Let us know how we're being inaccurate. But see, here's the catch, though. If you do that, you might be proven wrong. You might realize that you are the problem in this entire scenario. And here's the deal. That's okay. We don't hate you for that. We actually love you, which is why Wise has these conversations every week. He doesn't do this to try and upset people. We do this because we want people to come together because we love this country. We absolutely love this country. We want to see it prosper. We love you, and we want you to wake up out of your ignorance. We want you to wake up out of your hate. And instead, we want you to step forward into the truth. Understand, if you come up here and say, you know what, dang, guys, I was wrong. I probably shouldn't call the entire panel a bunch of raccoons, which, yes, you did, by the way. Instead, I should probably hear what they have to say. But if you're not going to be willing to do that, please don't waste our time and try and tell us how we're wrong. We'll listen to you. But are you willing to listen to anybody else besides yourself?
I would open it up and give you an opportunity. If you would ever like to pull up, I'm looking for people just like you. If you'd like to come up here, I will give you an invitation. My email is out there. Hey, mods, let this individual know. Give them the email. Reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to have you come up.
And we will be respectful.
Absolutely.
We will be
Yes,
respectful.
we will.
And I just want to say this: if loving God in America is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey,
If you sing it,
that.
I will.
sing it,
I know.
If you sing
Can
it,
we throw
I'll
a beat
send
behind
Wise a
that?
hat. I'll send AT a hat if you sing. Celeste, let it go.
Oh God. And I'm a horrible singer. So I'll start
okay.
with-
I don't want to. And then
honey, I can't
AT,
hold
you can pick a hat.
I can't hold the tune. God did not bless me with that.
He didn't bless you with that, huh?
She let you down, brother.
Shout out to Joel Witrowski. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, I love this discussion. God bless you all from California, white guy.
California.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Well,
Sorry to hear
with
about
that
the
being
California
said,
part.
we'll get ready to get up out of here. But I do appreciate you all pulling up. Thank you, Jay Witt. Y'all make sure y'all go check out my brother over there at the Jay Witt podcast, doing what he does best. Thank you, Celeste, for pulling up. Make sure you go and get the book. We will have some additional information about the book. It will come out. Hopefully we'll have that ready by next week. Hopefully we will. But appreciate you, Celeste. And go follow her over at Celeste_Duffer. We're gonna put some heat on her to really start moving and pushing forward, and moving that channel forward.
Y'all do so good. You do.
Thank you, Crystal, for pulling up today as well. Y'all make sure y'all go check out my sister over at CrystalBeyondLabels 3 days a week. Is it still 3 days a week Bible study?
No.
Oh, no? Oh, you're changing up.
I changed it to one live Bible study on Wednesdays, and then we're going to have private, intimate Bible studies for the members only, just because you have the crazies that come in and they distract the Bible study. So I decided to pull two of them off so people can have space to ask questions and things of that nature and not be distracted.
I like that. Okay, cool. Thank you, AT, man. I appreciate you pulling out, brother. If you want to promote the new YouTube channel, and you gotta send that over to me so I can make sure I can go over there and subscribe as well.
Yes. Yes, sir. I absolutely will. I'm not doing TikTok anymore for those of you who are here and you follow me over there because I can't say the things I want to say. I love standing next to Minister Danzel because a lot of people get this confused all the time. He, as a minister, has a congregation of individuals that he shepherds. I'm an apologist. I argue for the faith, and that's what I'll be doing on my channel. I only got one video so far. If you just type in Faith Under Fire Show, what this says down here, you'll find it. I am going to do something that is probably going to get me in trouble. I don't really care. I want to talk about your faith. I want to talk about how it relates to American society. For example, today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Yes, that is tone deaf. I don't care. It is still Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. And I like to break down a lot of really deep topics. For example, yes, this is a Christian nation. Yes, that's really easy to prove. If you're interested in that, please follow me. I'm trying to be like Brother Wise up here. He has posted, I did the math. Sorry, Wise, I looked into you. He started at the end of 2023. He has posted over 1,000 videos. The man works. He feeds the machine. That means he posts about once a day for the last 3 years. I'm trying to get into that cadence, probably starting next week time frame. Please come by, support. If you have questions, I do enjoy those. If you have arguments that someone has given you, you don't really know what to do with it. This is my job. This is what I love to do. So please come by. Thank you for the support at Faith Under Fire Show. We've got something pretty big coming up here in the next couple of weeks for the ministry that we're launching. So if you're a believer out there who either A, wants fellowship, or B, wants to actually serve where you're at, we're going to make that happen for real. It's time for revival in this nation. We're going to get this started.
Standard. Well, whatever I can do to help, let me know. I'm
yes, sir.
Definitely
coming y'all's way
so.
in a little bit.
And thank you, Minister Danzo. Appreciate you, brother, as always.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Sister Jason, Brother Jason, can I represent Sister Celeste? If loving Jesus is wrong, we don't want to be right. Hallelujah. Come on.
I'll let that work. AT, send me.
I want my hat.
Send me your address, AT. I'm gonna put
I'll email it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Shout out to Shar297 with the $2 super chat. Says this panel is awesome. And I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you to everybody who pulled up this morning and hung out with us. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to all the blues helping to keep things peaceful in the chat. We already know what time it is. Y'all know what we're dealing with. And I appreciate you guys doing what you do to help things just maintain some peace, in the chat. So I do appreciate you guys. All my ARP family members, thank you guys very much as well. And everybody that supported the channel financially this morning, I really appreciate you guys. God bless each and every one of you guys.
Don't you send me that hat, Jason. Don't do it. Send me a J-Wit podcast. I'll wear that on my show every once in a while.
Say less. I'll order it for you right now.
I absolutely
I can get you I can get a Navy hat for you. I can get a U.S. Navy hat for you if that
it will be the coldest day in hell that you see me put a Navy hat on my head. You know you're wrong for that. Come on now.
He said,
I can definitely send you one of those.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hey, thank you, Lou. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, Lewis, man. Coming through with the $2 super chat. Says awesome show. Much love. AT blessed. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And we're gonna get up out of here, man. Enjoy the weekend. Lord willing, we will be back at this thing next week, Tuesday, for ARP in the morning. Come check us out. We'll be here. Hopefully you will be here. And enjoy the weekend, man. Stay safe, stay warm, keep God first. Make sure you stay prayed up. It is crazy out here. And we're going to catch up with you guys next time, man. God bless you guys. Take care. Peace.
Amen.
You got it.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp,